Where's my brother, Dr. Douglas?
He's on his way back from X-ray.
How's he doing?
I would say that he's doing much, much better.
Well, then why did you want to see me?
Because I think that we've discovered the cause of Billy Joe's mysterious seizures. At least the most recent one.
What?
An antibiotic called trachomycin.
An antibiotic?
Yeah. Now the question is, how in the world did Billy Joe ever get a hold of it? Hi, Dad.
Oh, hello, Dennis. Oh, where's Dr. Jeffries? I wanted to see him and thank him again for everything he's done for us.
I was with him a minute ago, but he had to answer a page.
Oh, too bad.
He asked you to give him a call later.
Oh, all right. Well, do you want to get something to eat, or do you want to go straight home?
Well, I'm not really very hungry right now.
Well, it's a little early for dinner. Maybe a sandwich or something.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd just as soon go straight home.
Sure.
I would like to go to KVIK later, though, if that's okay with you.
Sure. I've got a few things to finish up, and then I'm yours for the evening.
Oh, good.
Mr. Carrington left about 30 minutes ago. He should be back shortly.
Then I'll just wait here if that's all right.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Where Barrett Marshall and his son are staying?
They were staying at the motel over on Mountain Road, but I think they moved to a ranch.
On what ranch, do you know?
No.
Have you ever seen Barrett in here with anyone besides Steve?
No. Oh, wait, maybe.
Was this someone who lives in town or nearby?
John Granville. He was in here with John Granville. They were having a cup of coffee a couple of days ago. They seemed like they were real good friends.
Do you know someone named John Granville?
I don't remember that name.
You sure that's the right name?
Oh, yeah, I've known Mr. Granville all my life.
Do you know where he's staying?
He's got a big spread about 15 miles from here.
Your place reminds me of the Marshall Ranch.
A few more hills, I expect.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you, Mrs. Granville.
How do you like your new home?
It's nice.
You enrolled in school yet?
Yeah. Talk to the principal. Steve's going to start school tomorrow.
Now, would anybody like to come with me down to the stables and see the new foal?
Yes, I'd like to go.
I have to shoot a few baskets. I haven't practiced in a while.
You know, our basketball team could use some help this season.
You know, I don't think that basketball hoop out back has a net on it anymore.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks again for the milk and cookies.
You certainly are a polite young man.
My mom and grandma taught me.
Well, they ought to be very proud of you.
I hope so.
I don't understand, Dr. Douglas. If this trachomycin is the cause of all the trouble I've been having here, I mean, how did it get into me?
Well, Billy Joe, that's what we're trying to find out right now.
Well, is this trachomycin usually administered in pill form, or is it given by shots?
Judging by the reaction Billy Joe's had, I would have to say that it was taken orally.
Well, wait a minute. I never took any of this trachomycin.
Are you currently taking any kind of medication at all, Billy Joe?
Well, they asked me that the other day when I came in to take the test. I told them I wasn't.
Well, you know, it's not unusual for a person who's been given a number of prescriptions over a long period of time to take the wrong one accidentally.
But I haven't been taking anything.
How did they determine that it was trachomycin that was causing Billy Joe's trouble?
Well, we ran a blood serum and it showed up.
Well, wait a minute. I just don't get it. I mean, how could I be taking this stuff without even knowing it?
Well, if you're not currently under any medication, I would have to say that someone's been slipping it into your food.
My food?
Mm-hmm. Either that or into something you've had to drink.
Oh, wouldn't I have tasted it?
No, trachomycin is tasteless.
Well, then, if I understand you correctly, Doctor, what you're saying is that somebody is trying to poison my brother.
That's putting it a little bit dramatically.
But basically, that is what you're trying to tell us, ain't it?
Yes, Billy Joe. Basically, that is what I'm trying to tell you.
Drive down Mountain Road about 15 miles, and you'll see a filling station and a grocery store here on the right.
Okay.
And then you take a right there, go down half a mile, then you'll be on Granville property, and you keep going down that road, and you'll see the big house.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Sure. Now, listen, whenever you want to order, just holler.
Okay, let's get going.
Wait a minute, honey. We don't know that Barrett and Steve are there.
Well, let's go find out.
Let's just think for a minute.
About what?
About this Granville fellow. We just don't know who he is.
Honey, what difference does it make?
Listen, if he's a friend of Barrett's, he might try to protect him.
All right, then let's call the police.
Honey, the police aren't going to do us any good.
Barrett kidnapped my son.
Steve went with Barrett willingly.
He didn't go of his own free will. Barrett tricked him into believing that I didn't want him anymore. He forged that letter. Now that's criminal, isn't it?
Barrett did not break the law, and I just don't think the police are going to be able to help him.
Okay. What do we do now?
Okay, I'm going to call Granville. I'm going to have him come into town and talk to us.
Are you going to tell him why we're here?
No, he might not come. Miss.
Ready to order now?
Yeah, I'd like steak, medium rare, baked potatoes, string beans. My wife would like a baked chicken.
Is it chicken on the dinner or a la carte?
That'll be on the dinner. Do you know what kind of horses Mr. Granville has?
Well, he raises mostly cattle.
But he must have some horses, right?
Yeah. I think he's gotten interested in Morgan mares recently. I believe he has a few of those. There be anything else?
No, thank you, not right now.
What are you up to?
I'm going to call Mr. Granville and tell him that I have some Morgan mares for sale.
Rehearsal's at 3, Bo.
I know. I heard you the first time.
I suggest you get here early so you can go over the material with Andy first.
Yes, sir. I think everything's going to work out just fine for everybody concerned. Ricky and Elena Decker are going to be singing songs by Bo Baker. And Bo Baker is going to be very nicely paid by Ricky Decker's manager, Ruby Wright.
Just be here before 3.
Sure thing, boss.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do.
Hey, don't rush off on my account. Hey, you've been working all day. Isn't it time for a little relaxation?
I can't leave here until I get everything all set for tomorrow.
I was kind of looking forward to you coming home with me tonight.
Well, you'll have to look forward to something else because I can't do that.
Tired of sleeping alone, really.
Get a dog. I got my own apartment.
All right, then I can come there.
No, you can't.
I can.
I live with Ricky.
So, that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
And does Ricky Decker know he's living with a married woman?
Dr. Melton, 392.
Bo.
What's up?
Those tests that they did on Billy Joe showed that he'd been given a drug called trachomycin.
That's so. Well, the miracles of modern medicine never cease.
Okay. But the doctor's calling in the Houston police.
What for?
Billy Joe is being poisoned, remember? They have to call the police.
You worried?
Yeah, I'm worried. Just wish we could get Phil Roberts off the show and just put an end to all of this.
How's Billy Joe doing now?
It's better. Don't you dare give him any more of that stuff. He's been through enough already.
Hey, Pumpkin. Getting Phil Roberts off that show is just as important to Billy Joe as it is to you and me.
Yeah, but there's one difference. You and I aren't being poisoned.
You keep using that word. Trachomycin is not a poison. And besides, it can't do Billy Joe any real harm in the doses that I'm giving him.
You better be right about that, Bo. Oh, I just want all this to end.
Well, I'm sure that all 3 of us do. Now,
Cut it out.
Ricky's not around.
No, but this is a hospital. It's a public place, and I don't like it.
No law against a man being affectionate with his wife.
Only if the wife wants it, and I don't. Besides, nobody knows that you are my husband.
That don't mean nothing to me. Besides, Ruby, I miss you. I miss you a lot. I lie there in bed at night thinking about you, realizing you're lying right next to Ricky Decker.
Yeah, well, right now we've got some business to attend to.
Yeah, well, I know some business I'd like to attend to right now.
Just remember, you're the one that's saying that I owe you money.
It is money that you owe me.
I'm gonna pay you, Bo, but I gotta do it in a way that Ricky doesn't suspect. I've gotta get you a job on the Phil Roberts show. And that means we gotta get rid of Phil Roberts.
Well, then maybe we'll just pay Phil Roberts a little visit. We'll tell him that we're on to him. And that if he doesn't stop doing what he's doing, we're going to turn him into the police.
Yeah, but there's one flaw in that plan.
What?
Phil knows that he didn't give Billy Joe any trachomycin.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to prove that.
What if he tries?
Then we'll frame him. Just plant some of the pills on him. Oh, you just leave everything to me, Pumpkin.
Looks like somebody's keeping you well stocked in Crossword Puzzle magazine.
That's Dad. He's paying me back for all the crossword puzzles I loaded him down with when he was in the hospital.
I hope you don't stay in here long enough to read all of those.
Oh, I don't think there's any danger of that. So how's everything going at the boutique?
Oh, all right.
When's the grand opening?
In a week.
I understand my mother's been giving you some trouble.
Did Elliot tell you that?
I saw the Phil Roberts show yesterday. Look, I'm sorry.
Can't blame you for Iris's obsessions.
Well, I still feel slightly to blame for all of it. Has she tried anything else?
I'd really rather not talk about it, Dennis.
I want to help, Paige. I mean that. Look, I'll talk to my mother.
No, please. I don't think that would be a good idea.
Do you remember when we first met at the Top of the World Club?
Seems like years ago, doesn't it?
Did you love me then?
I came to love you, Dennis.
But you didn't love me at first. You married me for my money?
Hate me, don't you?
I don't hate you. But it does make me angry to think I was used.
I understand. And I think I deserve your anger.
Oh, please, Paige. Don't put all the blame and guilt on yourself. That's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to figure out what my part in all of this was. I'm trying to understand why I did the things I did.
All right. But you have to believe something, Dennis.
What?
That I loved you very much. And in a very different way. I still love you now.
Yeah. Well, right now, I don't feel like someone to be loved. Paige?
Hi. How did you know I was here?
One of the girls told me.
Well, I took the liberty of waiting in your office. I hope you don't mind.
Of course not. I'm glad you did.
You seem to be in a very cheerful mood today.
I am in a cheerful mood. Dennis checked out of the hospital this afternoon.
Oh, Elliot, that's wonderful.
I just dropped him off by his apartment.
How is he?
I think he's doing remarkably well.
Good. I'm really glad to hear that.
I know you are.
Will he be coming back to work here at KVIK?
I'm not sure. I don't want to push him. Vicky has already told him that his job is ready and waiting for him anytime he wants.
Ellie, do you think I'd be out of place if I asked him to the opening of the boutique tomorrow?
No, I don't think you'd be out of place at all.
Well, I don't want to do anything that might upset him.
Well, would you like for me to pass the invitation along to him?
Yes, thank you. If I ask him directly, he may feel obligated, but if it comes from you, then he can let you know whether he wants to come or not.
Okay. How are the preparations going? Are you going to be ready for the opening tomorrow?
Yes. One of the reasons I came is because I have a problem. Out of the over 500 invitations that we mailed out, only a handful have responded.
Iris.
I'm afraid so. I'm wondering if it's worth it to even have an opening.
Of course it's worth it.
But if only 10 or 15 people show up, Ellie, it's going to look ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe I should just close page 1 even before I open.
I'm sorry to see you so discouraged, Paige, but I don't think that closing the boutique is the answer.
Boy, Iris sure did her work. Nita and I have been on the phone for almost 2 days. Every person we reach, she's gotten there first.
Do people tell you that they've talked to Iris?
Oh, no. She's much too clever for that. But I know her work when I see it.
I suspect you're right.
I'm so discouraged, Elliot. I have worked so hard for this. But I keep telling myself there's no use fighting anymore.
Thank you.
You talk with Mr. Granville?
No, he's not in right now.
Will he be back there soon?
His wife's gonna have him call me here.
Did you tell her what you wanted?
Yeah, she seemed real excited. I think there's a real good chance it'll drive him and see me.
Well, suppose that he wants you to come out to the ranch.
Well, then I'll just tell him a car broke down.
Okay, I'm gonna call Kate and tell her the good news, and you better call the pilot.
What for?
Well, if we get a chance to talk to Stephen, then we'll be able to take him home with us tonight.
Honey, slow down. Now, Steve, we haven't found him yet. I don't want you building yourself up for a big disappointment.
I'm not going to be disappointed.
We've become close before and we've lost him, right?
But Barrett's at the ranch. He's turned in the rental car, and he doesn't even know that we're here in Edmonds.
I know. Just take things one step at a time and don't get your hopes up, okay?
I'm gonna call Kate anyway.
Oh, listen. Yeah, call her, collect, and I'll pay her back, all right? Here you go.
Miss, I was talking to the man who just left, and he said that Mr. Granville hired on a Mr. Marshall, and that they were in the Army together in Vietnam. Mr. Marshall's going to live in Mr. Granville's brother's house on the ranch.
Are you sure?
The man works for Mr. Granville's brother in the hardware store, so, I mean, it seems like he'd know what he's talking about, don't you think?
Thank you very much. You've been real helpful.
Keep my ears open.
Thanks. Let's drive out to the ranch right now.
No, I want to talk to Granville first.
Okay, I'll call Kate.
Okay.
Would you like to go around the corner and get something to eat?
No, thank you. I better get back to the boutique.
I wish there was something I could do to cheer you up.
You have cheered me up a little.
I guess the thing to do is just concentrate on the work and try to forget about everything else.
The trouble is concentrating.
Oh, you can do it.
If the opening's a flop, what's the use?
Well, you don't know if the opening is going to be a flop. It may be a roaring success. That's what I'm betting on.
Okay. I will try and be optimistic.
Good. Come in.
Oh, Elliot, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're not. Come in.
Hello,
Hi,
Paige.
Vicky.
Elliot, I thought you'd like to see the report on the news quiz for the month of October.
Oh, I certainly would.
What's the news quiz?
Well, every week our news department makes up a questionnaire on the news, and then we make it available to the junior high and the high schools in the area, and the response has been wonderful.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
It was Elliot's idea.
No. I just heard about it and thought we should give it a try.
Well, I better be getting back to the boutique.
Well, if you decide that you're hungry later, give me a call, will you?
Okay. Nice to see you, Vicky.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Paige.
Oh, she's worried that the opening of her boutique is going to be a disaster.
Why?
Because of Iris. She's calling all of her friends and telling them to decline the invitation to the opening, not to shop there.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Paige needs those people as customers.
Oh, but Elliot, surely people aren't going to stay away just because Iris asks them to stay away.
Iris is bound and determined to ruin Paige. And when she makes up her mind to do something, she usually succeeds.
Yes, she usually does.
Well, you're doing much, much better.
Does that mean I can go home?
I would like for you to spend one more night in the hospital, just for observation.
But, just one, huh?
Yeah, just tonight. Then you should be able to go home tomorrow morning.
Well, that's good, because my friend of mine's opening up a boutique tomorrow, and it's very important for me to be there.
Ah.
Oh, come on, man. Give me a break.
It isn't my old friend, Billy Joe Wright.
That Joe Foster case is closed.
Now, hold on, Billy.
Now, look, I told you everything I know about that Joe Foster guy, and I'm not going to say another word.
I'm not here to talk about Joe Foster.
Detective Michaels is with the Houston Police Department.
Houston?
I quit the New York Police Department.
Why?
I liked it so much in Houston, I decided to stay. I applied to the Houston Police Department, and they accepted. And I have you to thank for it.
Great. That's just great. Here I am back from death's doorstep to find you on my case.
I talked to the lab.
And?
Well, that water pitcher on Billy Joe's table did have trichomycin in it. They're running a check now for prints.
Somebody here in the hospital's trying to kill me?
Well, if somebody's trying to kill you, Billy Joe, they're doing a very poor job.
Yeah, well, they put that poison in my water pitcher, didn't they?
Billy Joe, you could have drunk all the water in that pitcher and you'd still be alive.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Well, why'd they do it?
Our guess is that someone is trying to scare you for some reason or other.
Why?
We don't know. Our job now is to find out who that person is.
How are things at home?
Oh, Kate was so excited about us finding Stephen.
How's Lurleen?
She's better. She slept most of the day. Rena's with her now.
Did you talk to Rena?
Of course. She sends her love. Kate told me that the car rental people called and told us that Barrett had returned the car. I said we already knew that. I'm glad they kept their word.
There's a phone call for you, Mr. Connor.
Thank you. Hello?
Your order will be ready in a minute.
Thanks.
Oh, Mr. Granville, I understand you're in the market for some Morgan mares.
Yes, I am.
Well, I have some stock I'd like to talk to you about. Could we get together tonight?
Well, why don't you come out to the ranch?
I'd really like to. My car broke down. It's in the garage right now for repairs. I'm in the coffee shop on Main Street, if you could come over here.
Oh, how long are you going to be in town?
I'm going to have to leave first thing in the morning.
Oh. Okay, I'll drive on into the coffee shop and we'll have a talk.
Okay, great. I'll be here. Thank you. He's coming into town.
I'm going into town to talk to this Ryan Connor about the Morgan mares.
What's wrong, John?
I'm not sure, but I think this Mr. Connor doesn't know the first thing about Morgan mares. Can't figure what he's up to.
And I want that list of names in 5 minutes. If I don't get them in 5 minutes, you can look for another job. You understand? Frank, do you hear me? Imbeciles. Imbeciles.
How'd the show go this afternoon?
Went just fine. That brother of yours should only stay in the hospital room.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't break my heart.
The police have been called in on Billy Joe's case.
Police? What for?
They found what you're using to poison my brother.
Now, Ruby, you know that's not true. You try to hang that on me and I'll nail you to the wall.
You and who else?
I know too much about you, Ruby.
Nothing you can prove.
If I wanted to get rid of your brother, I wouldn't go around sneaking behind his back to do it.
I think that's exactly how you'd do it. You better watch out before they catch you.
I think you have a pretty good idea who it was that put the Trachomycin in your water glass here at the hospital.
I might, but I'm not saying.
You're not being very cooperative.
Look, Dr. Douglas just said that whoever it was didn't give me enough of that stuff to do any damage, and you said yourself all they're trying to do is to scare me.
What I said, Billy Joe, was it was our guess.
Yeah. Well, Billy Joe Wright don't scare that easy.
Might have been just a warning, too.
Well, I can handle it. It's not going to happen again.
Had to be somebody who had access to your hospital room and to the studio.
That could be lots of people.
Well, not really.
What do you mean?
Well, as I see it, only your sister, that client of hers, Bo Baker, and Phil Roberts were in both places.
Yeah, but you're forgetting those girls that were here, my fans. Sure, yeah, they're always hanging around KVIK, and every time I step outside the door, they're always there asking for autographs.
Big difference.
Why?
They don't have access to the studio. They're always outside.
Well, they could have paid somebody to do it for them.
Now, you don't believe that's what happened any more than I do, Billy Joe.
That's right, I don't believe that's what happened. But you ought to know me well enough to know that I'm not going to rat on anybody.
Billy Joe...
Now, look, I tell you, I can handle this whole situation here. As long as they keep on telling me that the stuff that they put in my water wasn't poison, I can handle it.
I appreciate you coming into town and talking to us.
You're Barrett's ex-wife.
Yes, I am. How did you know that?
Barrett and I were stationed together in Vietnam. I saw your picture every day for a year. No way I could forget such a beautiful face.
Thank you.
Well, I guess you've obviously realized that we didn't ask you here to talk about horses.
I figured that out on the phone.
You see, Ginny and I are married now, and Barrett's tricked Steve into believing that Ginny doesn't love him and that we don't want him.
Barrett told me he had custody of Steve.
No, that's not true.
How is Stephen?
Seems fine. A little shy, but seems in real good health.
Does he seem happy?
He's not particularly happy, no. Something kind of sad about him, come to think of it.
Mr. Granville, Barrett is not well. He's been under psychiatric care for quite some time now.
I suppose you know he was in a Cambodian prison camp for 5 years.
I know something about it. He didn't want to discuss it.
And everyone thought he was dead.
I did too.
I didn't want to accept that. And when I finally did, Ryan and I met after that and fell in love. We were going to be married, but suddenly Barrett returned home.
Did Barrett know about the wedding?
I explained everything to him. Then I decided to cancel my engagement to Ryan and chose to stay with Barrett.
And Barrett never forgave Ginny for giving up on him and falling in love with me.
I'm not surprised at his reaction.
I honestly tried to make that marriage work.
In Vietnam, I never had a conversation with Barrett that he didn't mention you. It was like an obsession. I know how much he loved you.
Well, as much as he loved me then, he hates me now. All he wants to do is hurt me, and that's why he's taken Steve away from me.
Well, Steve seems to have gone willingly.
Barrett tricked him.
He found an old letter that Ginny had written to him the day that she discovered that she was pregnant with Steve.
The first page of the letter was news about the ranch and the fact that I was pregnant. The second page was all about how happy we'd be and how many children we'd have.
So he substituted the first page. And he wrote about how Ginny didn't love Steve and that there was no room in her life for him anymore and that she was going to devote her life to me and raising our children.
He gave Steve the letter the day that Ryan and I got married. At a time when Steve was particularly vulnerable. And Steve believed it.
It doesn't sound like something Barrett would do. Certainly not to his own son.
He's changed, Mr. Granville. He's ill. All he cares about is hurting me. I don't think he even cares about Stephen. I want my son back. Will you help us?
Steve, it's getting cold out. You know, you better put a hat on.
I'm fine. Is Mr. Granville and Dad back yet?
Mr. Granville went into town to meet with a man from Texas about some horses.
Texas?
Looks like we're being invaded by Texans, doesn't it?
They breed a lot of good horses in Texas.
Well,
you should have seen some of them on the Marshall Ranch.
This Mr. Connor apparently has some Morgan mares he's interested in selling us.
Connor?
Yes, Ryan Connor. Don't tell me you know this man.
I think I do, Mrs. Granville.
What makes you think so?
Well, my mom married a man named Ryan Connor.
Did he raise horses?
No.
Then it must be someone else.
So Paige thinks that Iris is calling all of her friends and telling them not to attend the opening of the boutique.
That's my fault.
Well, what makes you think that?
Well, Mom's trying to ruin Paige for me.
Iris has never liked Paige. I suspect she has her own reasons.
Yeah, as usual, she thinks she's doing me a favor.
Well, you don't approve of what she's doing.
No. Look, Dad, I don't know what my feelings are for Paige right now, but I certainly don't want to see her boutique ruined. At least I've come that far.
Well, some people always fail to respond to an invitation, you know.
Who are you trying to convince? You or me?
Well, all I meant is that there may be more people there than Paige thinks there will be.
Look, Dad, we have to make sure that this opening is a success.
Well, I'd like to, but apart from going there ourselves, what can we do?
Oh, well, we can invite people from Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, and New Orleans. We'll charter them in on a plane if we have to.
Dennis.
Look, you know a lot of very important people. Publishers, writers. Well, they wouldn't mind coming to an opening if they thought they'd have a good time and it wouldn't cost them anything.
Well, I suppose a lot of them are crazy enough to do it.
Well, then let's do it.
Dennis, do you have any idea how much this is going to cost?
Look, I don't care how much it's cost. I mean, I've got more money than I know what to do with. I might as well put it to good advantage.
Well, son, I admire your wanting to help Paige.
Look, Dad, if we pick the people up and drive them to the airport, they'll be more willing to come, won't they?
I guess so.
Well, then, let's make it as easy for them as we can. What do you think?
Why are you doing this?
Dad, I've caused Paige a lot of pain. And I'm sorry for that. If I can make up for it, I certainly want to try.
I owe Barrett. He saved my life in Vietnam.
I understand your loyalty, Mr. Granville, and I admire that. But my son's future is at stake here.
He's Barrett's son, too. Now, you're going to be doing him a great favor. He may not appreciate it right now.
That's just it. He is Barrett's son.
I don't think Barrett's capable of taking care of Stephen. He needs psychiatric help. And in the long run, he may damage Steve emotionally.
It would be a tragedy if Steve continued to think that his own mother didn't love him and wanted to abandon him.
All I'm asking is a chance to see Steve and talk to him so I can explain to him what's happened.
And after that?
If Stephen chooses to stay with Barrett, after that, then I'll just have to deal with it.
I don't think he will choose to stay with Barrett once he knows the truth.
I understand that they're staying out at your brother's house on your ranch?
Yes, that's true.
May we go out there? And could you find some way for us to talk to Steve without Barrett being around?
I'd really like to help.
Mr. Granville, Stephen wrote this letter to his grandmother.
Dear Grandma, Dad and I are fine. I miss you and Buddy and Rena. Most of all, I miss Mom. She doesn't want me to live with her anymore, but I want you to tell her that I love her. I'll write again soon.
I hope that proves we're telling the truth.
There's a lot of pain and confusion in this letter.
Yes, there is.
I need to reassure him, Mr. Granville.
Yes. You do. Let's go talk to Steve.
Thank you.
Where is Mr. Granville meeting this Mr. Connor?
At the coffee shop on Main Street.
Well, could you drive me into the coffee shop?
Well, I don't think this is the Mr. Connor you know, honey.
Suppose it is, though.
Well, that would be quite a coincidence, wouldn't it?
Maybe I could borrow one of the horses, ride it in by myself. Would that be all right?
Where do you want to go, Steve?
To the coffee shop in town.
We're going to have supper out here, son.
Well, there's a Mr. Connor there talking to John, and Steve seems to think it might be the man who married his mother.
What are you talking about?
Well, this man called John about selling him some horses. He's from Texas, and his name is Ryan Connor.
Did he say anything about having his wife with him?
No.
We better get back to the house and do something about supper.
Dad.
Now, let's go, son. Let's go.
Dad, get these public relations people to line up their celebrity clients.
Well, we're not giving these people very much time.
Well, let's get them to make it sound like fun, an all-expense-paid party with no notice.
Well, I guess that will appeal to some of them.
Well, we've got to do it. We haven't got any choice.
All right.
Well, hi, Dennis. How are you feeling?
Much better, thanks, Vicki.
It's good to see you back.
It's good to be back.
Dennis, you know your old job is waiting for you as soon as you feel well enough to come back full time.
Well, I know that, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. If there's anything I can do, you just let me know.
Will do. Oh, Vicki!
Yes?
Dad and I are working on a little project, and there is something you might be able to do for us.
Well, what is it?
Well, Paige's Boutique is opening tomorrow night.
Yes, I know.
Well, Dad and I are trying to get as many people there as we can, and we were wondering if the station might have a VIP list that we could use.
Here in Houston?
Well, it doesn't matter where they live. As long as they enjoy parties and want to spend their money at the boutique, I am flying in all of the people and arranging for limousine service and all that.
Well, good for you, Dennis. Go and ask Meredith. She'll be in the office for a while longer.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much.
I think he's going to be all right.
So do I.
Some of my men have been doing some checking around the studio.
So?
Seems you and Phil Roberts didn't get along too well.
Phil Roberts didn't get along with anybody at the studio, so it doesn't mean a thing.
Oh, might mean more than you think.
Look, I'm telling you, you're just wasting your time.
I don't think so.
Now, look, I told you everything I'm going to tell you. Now, I can take care of this whole situation myself, so I'd appreciate it if you just butt out.
It's for you, Detective Michaels.
Thank you.
Doctor, couldn't I go home tonight?
Billy Joe, I advise you very strongly to spend one more night here in the hospital, just for observation. And barring any unforeseen complications, you should be able to go home in the morning.
Oh, that's good. I got to be at Paige Carrington's opening tomorrow afternoon, so that should give me some time. Do things I got to do.
Okay, that's good. Send me a written report as soon as you can. Fine. Okay, bye-bye. The lab has finished running a check on those prints on the water picture.
What'd they find out?
Aside from the assorted prints from the staff, there was a perfectly usable set from one Philip Roberts.
Now, wait a minute. How could they be so sure those prints belong to Phil Roberts?
Oh, we have a set of his prints on file.
From what?
A drunken driving conviction several years ago.
Well, I've said everything I'm going to say on the subject.
So did you talk to Phil Roberts?
Just a few minutes ago.
Well, what'd he say?
He won't quit.
Damn it. Did you tell him that the police have been called in and that trachomycin's been isolated as the drug that Billy Joe's been given?
I did, but he said he didn't know anything about trachomycin.
Well, what difference does that make?
He says he never heard of it, says he's never taken it, and he doesn't think they can link him to the poisoning of Billy Joe just because the two of them didn't get along.
Yeah, well, there's one thing that Phil Roberts is not thinking about. He has himself a motive.
I don't think that's going to change his mind, Bo.
Oh, I think we're going to see a big change in Mr. Roberts' attitude when they find some of them pills in his possession.
Maybe.
Only thing now is how to plant them on him. Ricky expecting you back at the apartment anytime soon?
Not until after the show.
Good. In that case, why don't you and I adjourn to my place? And we'll start thinking things over. I'm sure that we can come up with something.
I got work to do at the coop, Bo.
And since when does business come before pleasure?
So Steve was right.
Right about what?
Well, I told him about John meeting Mr. Connor at the coffee shop. He seemed positive that it was the same Ryan Connor who married his mother.
So Steve and Barrett aren't in the house?
I don't know where they are.
Did Barrett know that I was going to meet John?
Well, yes, but he seemed sure that you weren't the same Ryan Connor.
Mrs. Granville, I got your message that the furnace was acting up again.
Oh, yes, it is.
Smokey, did you see Barrett Marshall in the last hour or so?
Well, sure. I drove him and his kid into town.
Where?
The motel, over on Mountain Road. Stevie talked the whole time about meeting somebody he knew from Texas.
Why do we have to leave the motel so fast and come to the bus station?
I wish you'd stop asking so many questions.
I thought you said we were going to meet Ryan at the motel.
He checked out.
How do you know that?
I just know it.
But you didn't even talk to the man at the desk.
I said he checked out, and that should be good enough for you.
Yes, sir. Where are we going? Back to the ranch?
I don't know yet.
Dad!
Just sit there and be quiet. Have to think things through.
I think I have done everything on my list.
How about the caterer? Did you call him again?
Yeah, I called him. He said everything was going to arrive on time.
Great.
I only hope we ordered enough.
I'm worried that we ordered too much.
Because so few people answered the invitations we sent out. Paige, a lot of people show up for parties without RSVPing first.
I don't think that's going to be the case here, Anita.
You know, I was looking at some of those gowns that are going to be in the fashion show. God, they're knockouts.
I wish I could be as optimistic as you are. Everything I have is tied up in this boutique. If this opening isn't a success today, well...
You really think he's going to show up for the opening?
I think so. He's a pretty good friend of mine.
Yeah, but it's just that he's so busy right now promoting his book. I mean, that's second on the bestseller list.
Well, that's all the more reason for him to show up. It's important for him to be seen right now.
It's just that we've invited so many important people. I just hope they all show up.
If only half of them do, it'll be an impressive gathering.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We've got a duchess, 2 ambassadors, a senator, half a dozen of the best writers in the country. I mean, that's quite an assortment.
Mm-hmm. Did you contact the company you're chartering the planes from?
They called while I was in the editing room.
And did you stress that it's important for them to leave on time?
I most certainly did.
Well, I think Paige is in for quite a surprise.
So's Mom.
I wonder what Iris's reaction will be when she finds out what we've done.
Busy now, what, with the opening up of your new boutique?
Yes, it is pretty hectic, but very exciting.
Well, tell us about it now. It's in the Galleria.
Yes, on the second level.
What are you going to do? Sell jeans, that sort of thing?
No, designer clothes.
Well, I can tell by the way you look now here, boy, that place is going to be a real big success.
Thank you, Billy Joe.
I understand you had a brief career in Hollywood as an actress.
Yes.
Now, about the boutique.
That brief, huh? I also understand that you're a good friend of Peter Parnell's in Hollywood. Of course, he's been indicted for murder.
You know, Peter Parnell used to own the Coop. Matter of fact, I was taken in by him for a while, too. You know, he seemed like a nice guy, but the problem is you can't really tell about people sometimes until it's too late. Now, Paige, tell us the name of your place.
Page 1.
That's a great name, ain't it, Phil?
Well, that's all the time we got. Thank you. And special thanks to you, Mrs. Wheeler. for sharing your time with us. And thank you for tuning in. See you tomorrow.
What's so interesting in the paper this morning, Mrs. Wheeler?
It's what is not in the paper that's interesting, Bevy.
What are you talking about?
Pate's Boutique. It opens today, and there is not a mention of it anywhere in the society or fashion section of the paper. Such a shame, isn't it?
I think it's going to be terrible when nobody shows up.
Oh, I'd love to be there. Just to see the expression on her face.
I hope you're not thinking of going, Mrs. Wheeler, because I don't think that's a good idea.
No, I suppose not.
Of course, I could go.
Oh, that's an even worse idea. She might think you're being disloyal to me.
Well, I guess we'll never know how the opening went then, because you've made sure none of your friends are going.
I know who we can send.
Who?
Grant.
Mr. Wheeler?
Well, why not?
Good morning, ladies.
Oh, Grant. We were just talking about you.
Good morning. Good morning,
Hi.
Cora. How is everything?
Oh, fine. I'm sorry I had to leave you last night.
Oh, that's okay. How's your sister?
Oh, she had a girl, 7 pounds.
That's wonderful.
Is John phoning about Barrett and Steve?
He's on the phone with the car rental people, isn't he, honey? Thank you.
Yeah, we called them last night, but they were all closed.
And the motels?
We called everyone in the area last night, and Barrett and Steve aren't registered with any of them.
He just disappeared. We may never find them.
Yes, we will, honey.
We should have come over here right after we talked to that waitress yesterday about Barrett working out here.
Maybe, Ginny, but I thought it was more important to talk to Mr. Granville first.
Well, we should have followed my instincts. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I don't mean to blame you.
I understand. You're just tired and scared, aren't you?
Well, that's the last of the car rental agencies. No one's seen them.
So now what? They didn't rent a car. They're not registered at any of the motels. Do you have any idea where they might be, John?
Well, unless they hitched a ride out of town, they're still here. The only other way out of town is the bus station.
Will you please tell me what's going on?
We're leaving town.
You mean we're going back to the ranch in Texas?
No.
Dad, I want to go home.
No.
If you want to go somewhere else, that's fine. But I want to go home.
You're going with me, Steve.
Okay, there you go. I'm gonna go get shaved.
Don't forget, you gotta go get your tux.
Okay.
Hello?
Good morning, Pumpkin. Just wondering what time I was going to see you today.
I'm not gonna see you, Bo.
Why not?
Because I'm invited to the opening of a new boutique in the Galleria, and I've got a lot of work I have to take care of first.
Yeah, well, you and me, we got a little work to take care of ourselves.
Well, Phil Roberts can wait.
I'm not talking about Phil Roberts. I can't wait. I want to see my wife.
Oh, I'll call you later. I can't talk now.
Who's that?
Well, I just talked to the rental shop. Your tux is all ready. You can pick it up.
I don't know what I'd do without you. Come here. You want to go with me?
Well, I can, honey. I gotta go over to the coop and take care of business.
Say, what are you going to wear to the opening this afternoon?
Well, I thought I'd wear the same dress I wore to your opening up at the Top of the World Club. Do you like me in that dress?
I like you better out of that dress. I guess that's beside the point.
Oh, better watch it or I might not let you go get that tux.
Well, I guess that's a chance I'm just going to have to take, huh?
Barrett and Steve are at the bus station. I just talked to the ticket agent.
Are they sure that it's Barrett and Steve?
Well, the man and boy there fit the description I gave him.
How long have they been there?
He came in this morning about 8 o'clock, as soon as he opened up.
Did Barrett buy a ticket yet?
To Seattle.
He knows we're following him, Ryan. He's probably not even at the bus station. It's another trick.
Honey,
it's probably at the airport.
Look, I could call my friend Jim out at the airport and have him keep a lookout in case they show up there.
Well, will Harold keep an eye on them while they're at the station?
Yeah. He said he would.
Did they say anything about Steve, how he was?
Well, he didn't say anything either way, so I assume he's okay.
Oh, he has to be all right. Barrett wouldn't do anything to harm him.
Barrett will figure out that Steve wrote a letter to Kate, if he hasn't figured it out already. And then he'll be so angry with Steve, and then he...
Let's get into town before we lose them again, okay? Come on.
I'll call the airport and talk to Jim Mooney.
All right.
Stop staring at me, will you?
You don't feel so good, do you?
Don't worry about me.
Maybe you'd feel better if we went to the coffee shop and had some breakfast.
No, I missed the bus.
When does it do?
In about 30 minutes.
That'll give us plenty of time.
No.
Maybe I could get something to take out. That way we could eat on the bus.
I didn't say anything about being hungry.
Well, I'm hungry.
It's just like your mother. You're always thinking of yourself.
I was thinking of you two. You haven't even had any coffee this morning.
Coffee. I went for 5 years without having coffee. Went without a lot. I went without a good many things for 5 years.
In the prison camp in Cambodia?
Your mother's beginning to find out what it's like, losing people she loves.
You want to see Mom hurt, don't you?
She hurt me.
She didn't mean to. I know she didn't.
You're too young to understand, Steve.
I know my mom. She wouldn't hurt anyone deliberately, especially you.
I suppose you think that she still loves you, too.
I think so. And I also think that's why Ryan came into town yesterday, because he's looking for us.
You don't know that that was Ryan Connor, the one that we know.
I bet it was. And that's why we're leaving town, and that's why we spent last night in the shed instead of a motel.
I can't figure out is how he found us. Did you call your grandmother after I told you not to?
No, sir, I didn't call anybody.
You wrote a letter. Didn't you? Is that how Ryan found us? Tell me.
So what happens, Fred, is that Vivian keeps running into these people in the supermarket who want her to invest in all sorts of schemes.
What kind of schemes, Vivian?
Well, the one I heard about yesterday is a formula for an ingredient that makes flowers grow twice as fast as they ordinarily do. The shares are $50 a piece.
Well, now, you see what I mean? I'm trying to convince her to let you make her investments for her, if it's all right with you.
Well, I'll do what I can.
Oh, good. when you have time, if you just sit down and discuss it with her, we'd appreciate it, wouldn't we, Billy?
All right.
Well, what about today? Do you have a full schedule at World Oil?
I'm afraid I have a very full schedule.
Well, will you be home for dinner? I know that Lacey's working late at the station. Vivian needs an idea of how many people will be in for dinner.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have nothing on this evening, except I do have to find out something to give Lacey for her birthday. It's coming up, you know.
Maybe I could help you with that. Do you have anything at all in mind?
Not a clue.
Well, let's see. Now that she's working at the station and beginning to socialize more, she might need something new to wear. I mean, I know she likes jeans and boots, but I think you should buy her a couple of attractive dresses or suits, some really nice designer clothes.
Well, sounds like a reasonable idea.
Paige's boutique is opening tonight. She might have something that would be right for Lacey.
An opening, that's usually by invitation, isn't it?
I doubt many people will be there. Besides, I'm sure Paige would be delighted if you attended.
Iris, I'm surprised that you would suggest that I go to Paige's boutique. I mean, considering the way you feel about it.
Grant, don't you think I'm capable of rising above my personal feelings?
Well...
Oh, well, the point is, it's supposed to be a very nice shop, and you just might find something suitable.
All right. I'll give her a call and see if I can't wrangle myself an invitation.
Oh, Bob, how's everything going? All right? I think you have everything here you need, except, of course, for the mixer, which the caterer will bring. But if there's anything else, please let me know, all right?
Paige.
Yes.
Paige, now, what do you think of this dress now? Lorette took up the hem like you suggested.
Uh-huh. Can I see the back, please? Looks beautiful. Thank you, Monica.
Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like I'm a kid at Christmas.
I'm pretty excited, too, Nita.
You don't think this opening is going to be a success, do you?
No.
Well, I think you're going to be surprised. Call it feminine intuition. I got this feeling that everything's going to work out great.
Well, if it does, Nita, it will be largely due to you. There is no way that I could have gotten all this done without your help. I really want to thank you.
Oh, no, you shouldn't thank me.
No, I have to. And how you and Elliot got me through the past week, I just will never know.
Well, if there should be any thanking doing around here, I should be thanking you. I mean, a month ago, my life came to this screeching halt. There I was, divorced, a little baby to take care of all by myself. But then you gave me this job, just at the right time.
Well, good. I'm glad.
You've also been great about allowing me to bring Billy Joe Jr. to the hotel when we're working there. I want to thank you for that.
Where is he? Is he with Maggie right now?
Yeah, and Angela's helping to take care of him.
Good. Nita.
Yeah.
Billy Joe called me this morning at the hotel.
He did?
He's going to be coming to the opening this afternoon.
He is.
Will that bother you?
No. It's going to bother Billy Joe, though. Since he made it clear he didn't want to see me anymore.
Well, I'm just telling you, you're headed for trouble. Why are you sticking your neck out for this Bo guy anyways?
Money, honey.
Are you managing him now?
That's right.
What does Ricky think about that?
Well, Ricky doesn't really know about it. But I don't think he thinks anything about it one way or the other.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that.
It's just business, Billy Joe.
All I know is how I'd feel if you were my girl, Ruby, and some guy like Bo was hanging around you all the time.
Yeah, well, Ricky's not the jealous type.
Everybody's the jealous type, little sister. Everybody is. Now, look, I don't give one hoot about Ricky's feelings. But I'm telling you this for your own sake. I don't want you to be surprised at his reaction.
Just a minute.
Howdy.
Well, what are you doing here?
I just come to visit my manager. No crime in that.
What if Ricky were here?
But he's not here, is he?
You had no way of knowing that. You can't just show up like this, Bo. It's too risky. Ricky would never understand.
I think Ricky'd understand perfectly, and I think that's what you're afraid of now, isn't it, Pumpkin?
You're crazy. Ricky just went down to the shopping mall to pick up his tux. He's going to be back any minute.
Well, yeah, I saw that shopping mall when I was driving on over here. Maybe I ought to go back there and pick up a tux for myself.
Why would you need one?
Well, you're talking about that fancy do that you're going to this afternoon. I thought I might like to go, too. The trouble is, I don't have the right clothes.
You can't be serious.
I am serious. There's going to be a lot of important people there, Ruby. It never hurts to rub elbows with important people.
Bo, you can't go. It's by invitation only.
Well, in that case, you're just going to have to wrangle me an invitation.
I can't do that, Bo.
You want me to just show up? Now, Ruby, I get real tired of being in that motel room by myself all the time. Seems that all I do is wait for you to get Phil Roberts off that show so you can get me a job.
You have to be patient with me, Bo. I am doing the best I can. That's Ricky. What are we going to do?
You relax. I don't think Ricky'd ring his own doorbell.
Who is it? Who is it?
It's Billy Joe.
Hey, Billy Joe, how you doing?
Hey, big brother. You're looking a whole lot better than you did yesterday.
Well, thanks to whoever's trying to poison me.
Nobody's trying to poison you, Billy Joe.
Now, how can you be so sure of that?
Well, Dr. Douglas said it was some kind of antibiotic, didn't
Same
he?
thing, huh? It landed me in the hospital, didn't it? Obviously, somebody was trying to put a scare into me, and I think we both know who that somebody is.
You gonna do anything about it?
You mean press charges against Phil Roberts?
Yeah.
I haven't got any proof. Even if I did, I wouldn't go to the police.
Why not?
Because I want to handle this thing myself in my own way.
I'm surprised they let you out of the hospital so quick, Billy Joe.
Bo. I thought you had to run down to the shopping mall and pick up that tux.
All right. I'll see you two a little later. Billy Joe, you take good care of yourself.
Where's he think he's going to see us all later? What's all this stuff about a tux?
I sort of invited him along to Paige's opening of her boutique.
Now, it's not your place to invite him, Ruby.
Well, I know that, but I figured since you were such good friends with her, maybe you could get an invitation for me.
You know, if I was Ricky, I'd think you and Bo had a thing going.
John?
John's not here, Smokey. He went into town with the Connors to look for Stephen Barrett.
Do you have any idea where Barrett's taking the boy?
Yes, he's at the bus station, getting ready to leave town. What is it, Smokey?
Well, you know that pistol I keep in the glove compartment of the truck?
Yes.
It's gone. And I think Barrett has it.
I'm going to call the bus station and warn Harold Brown.
I should have known I couldn't trust you. I can't trust anyone.
I didn't do anything so wrong.
You rode home, didn't you?
I just wanted to let Mom know I still love her. I went away without saying goodbye.
I told you to forget about your mother. She doesn't give a damn about you.
I can't believe that, Dad.
You read the letter that she wrote to me. Don't you know what she said? Don't you remember?
Yes, sir.
She said you'd be better off with me. All she cares about is Ryan Connor. And you look at me when I talk to you.
Let go of him, Barrett. It's all over now.
I should have shot you in Houston.
You don't want to shoot him, Barry. Give me the gun.
You betrayed me, John. I saved your life, and then you betrayed me.
No. You lied to me.
I never lied to you.
Give me the gun.
You're not taking Steve. You understand? You took my wife. But you're not taking my son.
It's not your son you want, Barrett. All you want to do is hurt Ginny, right?
Move back, John! I don't want to hurt you, but I will if you don't move back. If you don't start moving back in 4 seconds, I'm going to pull this trigger.
Okay.
You shoot me and you're going to prison, Barrett. You won't be able to stand that being locked up for the rest of your life.
You tried that line on me before, Connor. It won't work, because it doesn't matter what happens to me now. Just so long as I know that Ginny can't have you, that's all I care about.
And what about your son? What do you think you're doing to
I
him,
don't care,
huh?
just as long as I take care of you.
Dad, no!
No.
Billy Joe, that is a terrible thing to say.
What, that Ricky might think that you and Bo got something going on?
Yeah, Bo is my client, and that's it. There is nothing between us.
I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying that Ricky might think there was. What's the matter? You getting a guilty conscience about something?
Look, I am just looking out for the best interest of my client. Is there anything wrong with that?
Now, how can it be the best interest of Bo to be at the opening of the page 1?
Because there's going to be a lot of important people there, darling. And it never hurts to meet those kind of people when you're just starting out.
Like Bo.
Yeah, like Bo. I want to take him and introduce him around.
Hey, Billy Joe. Good to see you up and around.
Yeah, thanks.
From the way Ruby described your condition yesterday, it sounded like you might be in the hospital for a little while.
Yeah, well, Billy Joe's feeling a whole lot better now.
Ah, well, that's good. Did you ever find out what was causing those attacks you were having?
Not yet. Well, I best be going. I gotta get ready for that opening, too.
Don't forget to call Paige.
And I really hate to bother. She's gonna be so busy. But I guess you won't mind if one more person shows up.
Yeah, well, after what Phil Roberts and Iris Wheeler did to her on the show, she's probably wondering if anybody's going to show up at all.
All right, Ruby. I'll see if I can get you another invitation.
Who else is coming?
Oh, I think he should be there.
I'll see you later.
Bye, Billy Joe.
Go on, Billy Joe.
So, let's see what you look like in your new tux.
So Bo's coming to the opening.
Yeah, you know, now that I'm managing him, I thought I should introduce him around. The sooner he's making money, the sooner I'll get that 10%. What did I do to deserve that?
That was to remind you that this is one client who's given you more than 10%.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I was checking on the limos, Dennis.
All set? Here's a list of the people that Vicky managed to contact.
Seems like most of these people will be coming from Dallas.
Well, they're mostly old money from Houston. People that Vicky and Stryker have known for years. I just hope that Paige's boutique is large enough to hold them.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Dad, do you think that maybe we should tell Paige about what we're doing? I mean, if she's as worried as you said she was, then she should have an idea that all these people are going to show up.
Well, I thought about that, but if for some reason or other there's a poor turnout, she'll be more disappointed than if we hadn't told her. Well, I think we've done everything we can do. We should feel very proud of ourselves.
Well, right now, all I feel is tired. I mean, we've been doing this since the crack of dawn.
Well, I'm going to go over to the boutique and check on the preparations. Why don't you go home and have a little nap before the opening?
I haven't got time.
You have something else to do?
Well, I have one more invitation to extend.
Oh, to whom?
Well, an opening of this stature wouldn't be anything without the presence of the head of World Oil. So I've got to run over to Mom's now and invite Grant. I'll see you later.
Yes, ma'am. I'll give Mrs. Wheeler that message. Okay, bye-bye.
Mr. Wheeler, I thought
thought you said you were going to be at the office all day.
I just came home, changed my clothes.
Change your clothes?
Yep, I'm going to catch a helicopter with Mrs. Decker and go out and take a look at a drilling operation.
Oh, does that sound exciting? Where is it?
About 70 miles from here. Where's Mrs. Wheeler?
She's at a charity committee luncheon. Are you hungry? I'll fix something for you.
Yeah, salad be nice.
Sure, I'll whip up something.
Oh, Vivian,
Yes.
I'm curious about something.
What?
I'm curious as to why Mrs. Wheeler suggested that I go to Mrs. Carrington's boutique.
Why are you curious about it?
Because of the way she feels about her. She dislikes her intensely, and yet she wants me to go there and spend a bundle.
Well, maybe Mrs. Wheeler is just being budget-minded. After all, Paige's family or ex-family, maybe you'll get a discount.
Vivian, what is Mrs. Wheeler up to?
Well, what makes you think she's up to something?
What is she up to, Vivian?
You'll have to talk to Mrs. Wheeler.
Get out of the bus station. Right now! I'll kill him if you don't get out of here. I mean it! Get out of here! Steve, I love you. You're my boy.
No. No.
Hello, Nita. This place looks wonderful. And so do you.
Well, thank you. Well, that's right. You haven't been here in a long time.
Yeah, over a week. What a transformation.
Oh, I'm so excited I can hardly stand still.
Where's Paige?
Oh, she's in the back with the models, giving them last-minute instructions for the fashion show.
How's she holding up?
She still thinks no one's going to show up.
Well, I can understand her anxiety, but I don't think she has a thing to worry about.
That's what I keep on telling her, but she doesn't listen to me. In fact, this morning she was so depressed, she suggested I call the caterers and cancel half of the refreshments.
You didn't do it, did you?
No. I only hope I don't get in trouble.
Do you think that she'll check with you to see if you've done it?
Probably.
I should have thought about that.
About what?
The food.
What are you talking about, Mr. Carrington?
Can you keep a secret?
Becky, I'll be leaving here in about 45 minutes. Yeah, I'll call you just as soon as I get there. Bye.
Mr. Wheeler, I thought you said you were going to change.
I got hung up on the phone.
Well, now you eat your lunch now, and then you can change later.
All right.
Hi,
Vivian.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Good to
How
see
you
you too.
been?
And thank you for the chocolate chip cookies.
Oh,
They were
you're welcome.
fantastic.
Hello, Grant.
Oh, Dennis, how are you?
Fine. Listen, I want to ask you to do me a favor.
Sure, what?
Well, my mother is trying to ruin the opening of Paige's boutique this afternoon.
She is.
I have something to check
Well,
on.
wait a minute, Vivian, before you go. Now, just exactly what is your mother doing to ruin it?
Well, she called all her friends in Houston and told them what a rotten person Paige is. Needless to say, they declined the invitation.
Did you know about this, Vivian?
I didn't know all the details.
I suppose the plan was for me to go there and spy for her.
That's not exactly right.
What is this favor that you want me to do?
Well, I just wanted to invite you to the opening. That's all. Not as a spy for my mother, but just as a friend.
Well, sure.
I'd also like it if you'd invite some of your influential friends. Now, Dad and I have taken care of everybody in Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, and everywhere else. We're just trying to invite some local people, that's all.
My address book is in there. Let's go in there and make some phone calls.
Thanks.
Ryan, let's get out of here.
Okay, John, can you be staying with Barrett?
Yeah, I'll take care of him. You going out to the ranch.
Come on, honey.
I want to talk to Dad.
Steve, your father is sick. He doesn't know what he's doing or saying.
We can't just leave him.
Sean will stay with him.
Dad said you didn't love me. You showed me your letter.
Your father tricked you, Stephen. He's the one that wrote the first page of that letter.
You mean the part that said you didn't want me to live with you and Ryan anymore?
Yes. That's not true. You have to believe that, sweetheart. I do love you.
But why did he do it?
Because he wanted to hurt me. And he knows that you mean everything in the world to me. So he found a way to take you away from me.
Find something.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing.
And why won't you look at me? Have you been drinking?
I never drink.
I didn't think so.
Might not be a bad idea.
Why don't you tell me what's on your mind?
Nothing is. My mind is a blank, a complete blank.
Oh, Vivi, you haven't invested in some silly scheme.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm taking your advice. From now on, Mr. Wheeler's going to handle all my investments. He said he would this morning.
So he did.
Well, will that be all?
Well, aren't you going to tell me what you're upset about?
Well, the guy who cleans our pool said he was going to take me to the next Oilers football game, and now he can't.
Why not?
He got married yesterday.
Oh, Vivi, I'm so sorry. Did you care a great deal for him?
No, I didn't care about him one way or the other. I really wanted to see that game.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I'll get tickets to the game for you. So cheer up, will you?
Yes, ma'am, I'll try.
Are you sure nothing else is bothering you?
Well, nothing I want to discuss.
It's wonderful. Would you like something to drink?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Good. Club soda for me?
Yeah, I think 2 club sodas.
Good.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh,
boy.
So if this is an example of what the shop is going to be. Paige, everything looks great. And you look absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
You should be in the fashion show.
Well.
Oh, that dress is a knockout on you, Paige.
I know what you two are doing. You are trying to cheer me up. I must admit, I need as much cheering up as possible.
I don't think you have a thing to worry about. I think Page 1 is going to be a huge success. I'd like to propose a toast. To Page. And the success of her fabulous boutique, Page 1.
Where did Barrett and Steve sleep last night?
In a shed behind the gas station. Barrett didn't dare register them in a motel.
Steve must have been so uncomfortable in that shed.
Well, he sure didn't get much sleep now, did he?
Do you think he realized what his father was doing?
Yes. When Barrett and Steve got to the bus station, Steve tried to call your husband to a phone, but he never made it.
It's a shame he had to see his father go off the deep end that way.
I wanted them
to be so close to each other.
You did what you could, honey. Now, the first thing we're going to do when we get back to Houston is file for custody of Steve. That way Barrett won't be ever able to get him away from you again.
I know you told me we should have done that before we were married. Oh, hi, honey. Feel better after your shower?
Yes. Mr. Granville, how's Dad?
He's in the hospital. They're going to keep him there till he's well.
How long will that be?
Well, long time, I'm afraid. Doctor said they'd talk to you and let you know about Barrett, his progress. I'll check on him every week, see how things are.
Thank you, John.
Honey, I promised the pilot we'd be ready to leave in an hour.
Okay, I guess we better get to the airport then. Come on, sweetheart. We're going home.
Vivian, are you by any chance trying to avoid me?
No, I just remembered that I forgot to turn on the oven.
Grant said he'd be home for dinner after the opening of the boutique.
That's what he said.
Oh, I would give anything to see the expression on Paige's face when she realizes what a flop her little store is going to be. I'll get it. You attend to dinner. Hello?
Iris!
That you, Grant? I can hardly hear you. It sounds as if you're in some kind of bar or disco.
I'm at the boutique.
Well, what's all that noise? There's no one there, is there?
Well, it certainly is. The opening's a smashing success.
Are you joking?
No, certainly not. Dennis flew in 4 plane loads of people. Why don't you come on down here and see for yourself?
You know what? Jenny and Ryan will be arriving with Steve pretty soon.
Oh, good. You know, I'm so glad that Barrett didn't hurt Ryan.
Yes, but I wonder how much harm he did to Stephen.
Well, Steve understands what happened to Barrett. Why he did what he did.
That's an awful lot to ask a kid his age to understand, Kate.
Well, he understands that his mother does love him. And that's the most important thing right now. Stephen Marshall! Oh, you can't imagine how glad I am to have you home.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm great.
Oh, Rena, thank you again for letting us use Stryker's plane.
Oh, don't mention it. Hello, Stephen Marshall.
Hello, Rena Decker.
Oh, you just don't know how much I missed you, big fella.
I miss you, too.
I know. Kate told me that you said that in her letter.
Do you know about my dad?
Yes, I do. I'm very sorry.
He's sick.
But the doctors are going to be able to help him, Steve.
I sure hope so.
While I was waiting for y'all to fly in from Montana, I baked a couple of pies.
Hey,
Anyone
terrific.
else?
Absolutely.
I sure do.
Apple, pumpkin, boysenberry.
Excuse me, could you take that over to the other side of the room, please? Thank you. Excuse me, Nita. Oh, is everything under control? Yeah, I think everything's all right. When do you think the fashion show should be?
Soon. I'm just trying to hold out until all the press gets here.
Well, the most important part of the press is here now, so you can start whenever you like.
Oh, Elliot. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I think everyone's having a really wonderful time.
Yes, I think so. Thanks to you.
Oh, no. I'd like to be able to take all the credit, but that should really go to Dennis.
What do you mean?
Are you all right, Mrs. Wheeler?
Yes. Yes, Vivian, I am.
Well, you sure don't look it. You look like you're about to faint.
I have no intention of fainting.
Who was that on the phone? Is that bad news?
That was Grant. It seems the opening of Paige's boutique is a smashing success.
Oh.
You don't seem surprised.
Oh, yes, I am surprised. No, ma'am, I'm not surprised.
Why not?
Because Dennis was here earlier, and he told Mr. Wheeler he'd invited a lot of people to that opening.
Dennis did?
Mm-hmm. He said he was flying them in from New York, Los Angeles, and Dallas. Well, I guess I'll see about dinner.
You're going to stay right here.
You and Mom are good friends like me and Buddy, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
I feel terrible about believing Dad. About believing Mom didn't love me anymore.
Your dad tricked you, Steve.
Still should have known Mom wouldn't stop loving me.
Well, that letter that your dad faked, that was pretty darn convincing. If I were you and he had shown me a letter, something like that, with your mother's signature on it, I probably would have done the same thing. I would have believed him.
I hope Mom knows how much I love her.
She does. Of course, it doesn't hurt to tell her every once in a while, you know. That was one of the most wonderful things about Max. He was never shy to say, I love you.
Hey, what else has got you worried, huh?
Well, what do I tell the kids at school? Do I tell them the truth?
Do you want to?
No, not really.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you talk it over with Buddy? See what he thinks. That's what friends are for.
Okay.
Hi, what y'all up to, huh?
Nothing.
We're just visiting.
Oh, Mom, I have to go over and see Buddy.
Oh, all right.
See you later, cowboy.
Bye.
Mom?
Yes?
I love you.
Thanks. I love you, too. Get out of here. I swear that boy walks just like Max.
Oh.
Yes, he does.
Steve doing all right?
I think he's doing pretty good considering what he's been through. Did he see Barrett pull the gun on you?
Yeah, he did. It all happened so quickly, Jane didn't have a chance to get him out of the bus station.
Then Ryan got into a fight with Barrett and Steve wouldn't leave. Well, he must have realized that you were going to take Steve away from him. He was probably trying to kill you.
No, I can't really know that for sure.
Well, why else would he have stolen the gun from that ranch hand's truck?
I don't know, but it really doesn't matter because I'm back and we've got Steve back. I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, me too. Yeah, me too.
Dennis organized this whole thing. He suggested calling people in New York and L.A., chartering the planes. It was his idea.
I don't know what to say.
I don't think you have to say anything. In fact, I'm not even certain that I should be telling you, but I knew that Dennis never would, and I thought you should know.
But why? After everything that's happened.
I think it's his way of making up. He was also very upset about Iris's behavior. This is his way of telling her that he thinks she was wrong.
Paige. Excuse me. The model's all ready. Don't you think we should start the
Yes,
fashion
we should
show now?
start. Thank you.
Good luck.
See you later.
Well, Dennis, I think it's going to be quite a party.
I hope so.
Why, Vivian? Why didn't you tell me about Dennis's visit this afternoon? And why didn't you tell me about this ridiculous idea to fly people in from all over the country?
I intended to tell you, but then you came home so late and Mr. Wheeler was already downtown. And then I figured all those planes with all those people had already landed, so I figured, what's the use?
What time was Dennis here?
I'm not exactly sure.
Guess.
Well, it was right after lunch.
You knew where I was. Now, why didn't you call me?
I didn't want to upset you, and I knew all those plans were in motion. I didn't think there was anything you could do.
Why did Dennis come here? Was it to see me?
No, ma'am. It was to ask Mr. Wheeler to call some people in Houston.
And Grant agreed?
I am going to the kitchen.
I'm going upstairs to change
Oh.
and attend the opening.
Mrs. Wheeler, don't you do that.
Grant invited me. I want to see what's going on.
Please, stay here. Have a nice dinner. Have a nice swim in the pool.
You have a nice swim in the pool. I want the car in 15 minutes.
So, how's everything over at World Oil?
Well, it's fine. As a matter of fact, Grant and I flew out to look at one of the drilling operations this afternoon.
You're really getting into the middle of things now, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I'm learning about the oil business more every day.
And liking it less. Huh?
Oh, I like it all right. I have to admit that I have a few qualms about being vice president in charge of production of all things. You know how Max felt about oil wells.
Well, you can change your position over there if you don't like it.
No, Ginny, I want to stay around to see just what Justin is planning to do with his new company.
Rena.
Where is Justin?
He and Ashley are entertaining on their yacht. He said to Kate that he would be back late tomorrow.
Gee, we better get Steven's stuff moved out of here right away.
No, I don't think there's any rush to it tonight. We can get up in the morning and we can move most of his stuff out while he's at school.
Okay, I guess that'll give another night at the ranch anyway.
I'm gonna get a beer.
I'd like to have one, too.
Okay, how about you, honey?
No, I think I'm going to go upstairs and check on Lurleen. Has she been having any nightmares, Rena?
Kate said that she had a pretty bad night last night.
Have you talked to her about it?
Not about Bubba. Every time I try to mention it, she just turns away.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, here you go, Rena. Tell me, did TJ go along with you to observe the drilling operations?
No, but he helped set it up. Cheers. You know, I told him that there wasn't enough room for him on the helicopter.
Aha! But he knew better, didn't he?
Of course he did.
Rena, tell me, why don't you give TJ a chance?
Oh, Ryan, you know, you are so darn fair to everyone. It drives me crazy sometimes. Is there anyone you dislike?
Sure, but I think TJ's a nice guy.
Well, I think you're wrong. Neither does your wife believe me.
Well, that's because she's been listening to you.
Ginny came to that conclusion all by herself.
Well, then I think you're both wrong. Has Grant been very helpful lately?
Yes? Oh, guess where Grant is going tonight?
Where?
To the opening of Page's boutique.
Oh, that's right. You think Paige is going to have much success with it?
Not if Iris has anything to say about it. Oh, Michael, that was beautiful. Now, what do we have next?
I think we have Cassandra and an evening outfit, a marabou, and a print called Japanese Leaves.
Japanese Leaves.
Yes, and you'll see when she takes off the jacket that it's a good year-round dinner outfit.
Oh, perfect for those Houston nights right now, too.
Yeah, very good. No season to it. And she also has matching boots.
Uh-huh.
Which you can wear with or without.
Uh-huh. And the name of this is?
This is Japanese Leaves on Cassandra. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. I love the way you have names for everything, Michael. That's wonderful.
Now we have Michelle in a camel hair coat.
Uh-huh.
Which, underneath is a blouse that's animal skin.
Oh.
Now this would probably be very good for the Texas hills.
Yes,
not
where it's
so
a
much
little
for
more
Houston.
chilly.
Yes.
And wool pants and
wool
a silk
pants,
blouse.
And the hood is lined in leather.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next?
We have Helen, who is wearing two-piece. It's bugle beaded. It's called Sky is Falling.
Oh.
This happens to have a yoked skirt, but you can have it with black trousers instead.
Black evening pants.
Yes. This has been very good for us.
Oh,
we
I
brought
have-
one down for you, so we'll only sell it to one lady.
Thank you, and I have
Okay.
her in mind,
Oh,
too.
good.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you very much, Helen.
We have one of my favorites. This is Kathleen in the Chocolate Pole.
Oh, the chocolate. That's a wonderful name. I
It's
love
very
that.
Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
And it's something also good for Texas is a suede wrapped dress.
Aha.
which can be worn backwards. So there's a deep V in the back.
Oh, that's fabulous.
We brought it to your shop thinking it'd be very good for your Texas ladies.
Yes, yummy color. I
Thank
love
you,
that
Kathleen.
brown. Thank you, Kathleen. Chocolate Pole.
Chocolate Pole.
What a delightful name. I like that.
And now we have one of the star dresses.
Oh, that's lovely.
Of course, it's very Texas. It's solid bugle beads, glass bugle beads, deep cowl back, and a deep dolman. And
a
it's,
leather belt.
Yeah, sashed with leather. You need it because it weighs 23 pounds.
23 pounds.
Yes.
Oh,
And it's solid glass.
that's beautiful. And what is the fabric that the beading
It's
is
the
on?
animal skin again, but it's totally covered.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And so is Wanakee.
So is Wanakee. Thank you very much.
Wanakee.
And Cassandra again in the holiday quilted skirt.
Oh, that's very apropos right now.
Yes. With the French Angora sweater. Now, this is not year-round. It's good for your Texas holidays.
Oh, yes. That's just beautiful. And French Angora.
French Angora. Yes.
Oh, that's lovely, Cassandra. Thank you. And now,
Thank you.
ladies, could you give us one last look at these exquisite creations? Thank you. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you very much. And this concludes our premiere Page 1 fashion parade. Thank you very much, Michael Bulbrecht. Thank you for being here. And I want to thank all you ladies and gentlemen who have come here this evening, made us all feel so welcome here at the Galleria. Our models are going to continue to pass among you, so please feel free to ask any questions that you have about the fashions here at Page 1. And now on with the music and on with the fun. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Well, we have Michael to thank you.
Oh, he's wonderful. He's the greatest.
Hello. What did you think of our fashion show?
Well, I think after what I saw this afternoon, you're going to have the classiest shop in Houston.
Thanks to you.
And I can't take the credit for this. You've really done a great job.
You know what I mean, Dennis. Elliot told me that you were the one who organized all this. And you brought all these people
most
here.
of the people here are Dad's friends.
Yes, but it was your idea. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You know, I don't know what the future has to offer for us. Past hasn't been particularly kind, but I do hope we can be friends. I know I've said that before, but after tonight, Dennis, I think there's a very real possibility.
Hey, sleepyhead. Jenny, how long have you been here?
Not too long.
Is Steve with you?
Well, we did bring Steve home, but he went over to visit Buddy for a little while.
He's all right, isn't he?
Oh, he's very happy to be home. How are you doing?
Okay.
Rita told me that you have been having some nightmares about Bubba and the kitten.
I don't want to talk about it.
Honey, you have to talk about it eventually. You know, the longer you avoid it, the more difficult it's going to be.
Jenny, you don't understand.
Lurleen, you've been through a terrible experience. And your feelings are very confused. If you just talk to me about it, maybe I can help you.
Bubba said...
Bubba said?
Bubba said that he was going to kill me. But first...
First what?
He said... Said he wanted to have a good time.
Do you think you know what he meant by that?
He threw me on the bed and fell on top of me. He pinned my arms back so I couldn't move, and he tried to kiss me. Smelled like whiskey.
Okay. Go on. Tell me the rest.
He said that I wanted him as much as he wanted me. That I was being a tease. I was playing hard to get. But it's not true, Ginny. I swear it's not true.
Oh, honey, I know it's not true. And Bubba knows that, too. He said that to confuse you. He wanted to upset you. He wanted to throw you off guard.
He was so strong, and I was so tired of fighting him.
I know, sweetheart.
I keep having this dream that Bubba's here and he's laughing at me and touching me.
He's not here. He fell down the stairs and he's in the hospital. Then he's going to jail.
How long will Bubba be in the hospital?
I don't know. I don't know how serious his injuries are.
Will there be a trial?
Yes. Will you testify?
Yes. I want him locked up for good. That won't happen, will it?
Oh, Ryan should know that. He's downstairs.
Will you ask him for me?
Yes, but I think it'd be a lot better if you'd ask him. Will you do that?
Be careful with that. It looks like all your training at Maggie's has come in handy.
You'd think after being a waitress I would know how to juggle 6 things at once.
Why don't you let me take these? I think I can pass them around as well as anybody.
Would you? Thank you, Lena.
Sure.
Thanks. Sir, I think you want some more of this. There you go. Brought it out especially for you. Thank you. There you go. There you go, sure. Some more, too. Billy Joe,
Anita?
are you enjoying the party?
Yeah, it seems like a real nice affair. I think Paige Carrington's going to do real well.
Yeah, I think so, too. It was real nice of you to invite her to talk on the talk show with Phil Roberts.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so nice the way it turned out.
But that wasn't your fault. Oh, hey, maybe you better not drink that. Weren't you in the hospital?
I'm all right.
What was wrong?
Somebody was trying to poison me?
You're joking.
No. Well, it wasn't really poison. Turns out somebody just wanted to make me real sick.
Well, why would anyone want to do that?
Because they want me off the show.
Who's they?
I'd rather not get into it right now.
Would you like some more champagne?
No, I don't think so.
It comes with the invitation.
I was thinking maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't, I should be more careful what I'm eating and drinking right now.
Well, this bottle isn't poison. I opened it myself. Look. Come here. See? It's fine.
No thanks, Nita.
Looks like you need some more here.
Thank you, Nita. Do you know Bo? No. Oh, this is Nita Wright, Billy Joe's ex-wife. This is Bo Baker, one of my clients.
Oh,
nice to meet you.
Give you some more champagne.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Where's your boyfriend?
I don't know. Last time I saw Ricky, he was talking to some guy about airplanes. Ever since he's been taking flying lessons, that boy's gone airplane crazy. What are you so nervous for?
You and me got work to do. We gotta get back to that studio and plant those pills on Phil Roberts.
I'm warning you, Bo. Don't you give Billy Joe any more of those pills. He's been through enough.
Well, he's not gonna have to go through anything anymore as long as everything goes all right this afternoon. But that's why we gotta get back to the studio early.
Hey, Ricky.
Hey, Elena.
Hey, have one.
Oh, no, thank you. I didn't know you hired out for affairs like this.
Well, it's been a slow week at the Coop. When is the next time you're going to be singing on the Phil Roberts show?
Tomorrow. Matter of fact, I have a rehearsal a little later on today.
Would you mind if I came with you? I've never been inside the studio. I'd love to see it.
Oh, no, of course not. It'd be fine.
You sure it'd be all right?
Sure, it'd be okay. No problem. Let me talk to you later, okay?
Good.
I talked to Evan Douglas this afternoon. He's in charge of Bubba Wadsworth's case. Poor man.
Well, Rena's not his fault. Doctors have to take an oath. Can't just pick and choose their patients, right?
Well, I know that. I'm just saying that I don't envy him.
How's Bubba, anyway?
Unfortunately, he's recovering. I know that sounds awful, but that's the way I feel about him.
I feel the same way. Is Lurleen awake?
Yes, she is. How is she? She's better. I finally got her to talk about her feelings.
Did that help?
I think so. You know, someone once said that guilt is anger with no place to go, and so you direct it towards you. And that's exactly what Lurleen's been doing.
Hopefully, we'll be able to channel that anger into a positive direction.
You think that's possible?
Well, at the moment, all she's concerned about is revenge. And that's not a very positive thing, but I don't expect it to last long.
I wouldn't count on it. I happen to know about that stuff.
Rena, I want your help with Lurleen.
You have it.
Well, I don't want it if that's your attitude. Lurleen will think that if revenge is all right for you, it's all right for her as well.
Oh, Jenny, I'll be careful around.
Promise me.
I promise.
Has Lurleen expressed her attitude towards men?
Well, indirectly. She's frightened for all sorts of reasons.
I just wish she'd talk to Caleb. You know, he's such a gentle boy. He'd be very understanding.
I just don't think she's ready to talk to Caleb yet. But I do think she might talk to you, Ryan.
Well, sure. Is there anything in particular I should say?
No. Trust your instincts. Thanks a lot. Hey,
Thank you.
want to buy me that?
Fat chance.
You getting ready to go to the studio?
Yeah, I'm all ready whenever you are.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Oh, you don't mind if Bo rides along with us, do you?
Why is Bo going to the studio?
Well, I've been talking to Ben about maybe finding Bo some kind of a job on the show.
Oh, well, that's the first I've heard about it.
Well, I never really thought to bring it up before. Why, does it bother you?
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of job Bo has in mind.
Well, he is a songwriter, you know, so it only makes sense for him to sing some of his stuff.
You know, I'm really surprised at you, Ruby.
Well, you know Bo's my client. Gotta find him work.
Yeah, well, that's great, only don't find it where I'm singing.
Ricky, come on. You and Bo are completely different.
I don't want him on the show.
Well, it's a little late for that because I already talked to Ben about it.
Yeah, well, then you better talk to Ben again. Because if you don't, I will.
Would you excuse us? At any rate, Vicky, Rena and I jumped into a helicopter and went out to look at a drilling operation. You know, she's a very smart girl.
Oh, yes.
She's learning this business very quickly. I thought you'd be very pleased to hear that.
Well, Grant, I have very mixed feelings about Rena being at World Oil.
Why? You afraid she's going to fail?
No. I don't think she belongs there.
You think all she wants to do is ruin Justin?
Yes, I do.
Well, she hasn't said a word to me about it.
Maybe not, but I know my daughter. And she does not give up easily.
Well, isn't it possible, Vicky, that the more she gets involved in World Oil, the less time she'll have to think about it?
I hope you're right. Excuse me, Grant. I just want to thank you for everything you've done.
Believe me, it's my pleasure.
Well, as you can tell, it meant a great deal. And Dennis and Elliot have told me how helpful you've been, Vicky. I'm very grateful. And a little surprised. Why? Because I know how Rena feels about me.
Paige, Rena and I don't agree on everything. And besides, as I told you the other day, I was appalled at what happened to you on the Phil Roberts show.
Well, that wasn't your fault.
Yes, it was.
No. Iris tricked you, Vicky. You had no idea I was going to appear on the show.
I should have known that she was up to something.
Well, she did the same thing to me.
Oh, what did she do to you?
She asked me to come to this opening, expecting it to be a complete failure, so I'd go back and give her a first-hand report on it.
Well, all her efforts have been wasted, I'm happy to say. Thanks to you two and Dennis and Elliot.
Paige, I know your boutique's going to be very successful.
Thank you, Vicky.
Oh, incidentally, now, one of my daughters is going to be having a birthday.
Oh.
Can you help me kind of...
Grant, I would love to. Dennis said that Lacey was going to try to get here, but I...
Well, no, she's working late at the studio, so I don't think she'll make it.
Paige, you've got some absolutely beautiful clothes. I think I'm going to do some shopping myself.
Thank you.
Supper?
I'm really not hungry.
Well, Kate told me you haven't eaten anything all day long. That's not very healthy.
I try to eat anything, I get sick.
All right. Maybe you'll feel like having some soup later.
I don't think so.
Well, then why don't you get up and get dressed and come for a walk with me by the pond, okay?
I'd really rather stay here.
Lillian, you need some fresh air and exercise. Who closed the French doors?
I did.
Were you cold?
Yes.
Were you frightened?
Yes.
Sweetheart, there's no reason to be afraid. You're safe here. Oh, that's Ryan. He wants to talk to you. Will you see him? Come on in, honey.
I really don't want to see him.
Hi, Lorraine. I brought you something. Take a look, huh? I know it's not the same as old Christopher Columbus, but this little kitten sure needs someone to love him and take care of him. And well, will you take care of him?
I sure try. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I've been driving Kate crazy. She's not too thrilled about having this little guy around the house.
You know, maybe we could keep him underneath the back stairway near the kitchen door.
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
All right, why don't I go down and see if I can find an old blanket and an empty box? Okay?
Okay.
I know Jenny's told you that there's nothing to be afraid of. I know you're having a hard time believing that, huh?
Yes.
The law's going to take care of Bubba. We're going to take care of you.
I know that.
No, Lurleen, when I was in high school, I was in an automobile accident. I was hurt pretty bad, so bad I didn't think the pain was ever going to go away. And I had nightmares about the crash, too. And for weeks, every time I closed my eyes, I just feel myself going through that windshield again. Eventually, the nightmare faded and finally went away, and life went on. And that's the way it's going to be with you. You just have so many friends who love you, and they're going to help you get through this.
Everybody's been so nice.
Just one more thing you have to know. You're going to find this out. Most men are not like Bubba. Bubba is cruel, he's brutal, but he's an exception.
I know that.
So just take things one step at a time and don't keep your feelings all locked up inside, okay? And you always got Jenny and you got Rena to talk to, and you sure had me to talk to. And we're going to help you out, but only if you trust us. Can you do that?
zoom lens. It's a 16 to 160. That means it's 10 times magnification. So whenever you see this thing come out.
Hey, what is with your boyfriend? He hardly said 2 words on the whole way over here.
I'll tell you later.
Oh, trouble in paradise?
Look, Bo, I think we better just forget about planting those pills on Phil Roberts today.
It's a little late to get cold feet now, Ruby.
I don't want to do it when Ricky's here.
You don't have to do anything. Just leave everything to me.
Ruby, I'm gonna go back and find Bill and run over that new song we've been rehearsing.
Great idea. Hey, Elena, why don't you go with him?
No, I'll stay here. I don't want to be in the way.
Well, you wouldn't be in the way. That way Ricky could show you the control room and the rehearsal hall. You know, you might as well get the grand tour while you're here.
She's right, Elena. Why don't you come on along with me?
Well, if you're sure I won't be bothering you.
No. Come on along.
Have fun.
Well, now, shall we get down to business?
Will you two please stay here? I think I'm going to need some help.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Iris.
Hello, Iris.
Vicky?
Does Rena know you're here?
No. I rarely check my social engagements with my daughter.
Hello, Mom. It's nice to see that Gran talked you into coming.
May we talk?
Sure thing. Why don't we get you some champagne first?
Oh, I don't feel like champagne. Excuse us, please. Now then, suppose you tell me what this is about.
I should think that would be obvious.
Not to me.
Most of these people are Dad's journalism friends. You know most of them.
Dennis, why have you embarrassed me this way?
Embarrassed you?
Yes, I have talked to a great many people about this opening.
You're talking about the people from the Children's Orphans Fund?
Yes. I spent a great deal of time persuading people not to attend this affair.
And because Paige's opening is a success, you're feeling embarrassed.
Of course I am.
You're incredible. You know that? You go out of your way to ruin Paige's career before it's even started, and all you can think about is being embarrassed.
A week ago, you told me you hated her, that she was responsible for all your unhappiness.
Yes, and I'm trying to put that unhappiness behind me.
Well, that will never happen, so long as Paige remains in Houston.
You're wrong about that.
Dennis, are you considering getting back together with that creature?
Is Lurleen still asleep?
No, she went for a walk with Ryan. You know, I think him giving her that kitten really helped a lot.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad she feels she can trust Ryan. She'll be all right.
Of course she will.
Well, I think I'd better do something about supper.
Do you need any help?
No, thanks. I can manage. Oh, Ginny, when do you think you're going to take Steve in town?
Oh, probably tomorrow. I'll come over here in the morning and pack his things, unless Ashley and Justin are here.
You know, if you and Ryan want to go down to Acapulco for a couple of weeks, I'd be more than happy to take Steve.
Thanks. We'll see about that.
I'll even bring him down on the weekends. How's that?
Honey, you're a big executive now.
Oh, yes. And a good executive knows how to make time. Especially for important things like our best friend's honeymoon.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll talk to Ryan about it.
I know you know this already. But I'm sure glad you don't have to worry about Barry anymore.
Yes. It's finally over.
Yeah.
And I'll be more than happy to help you if you want me to.
Help me do what?
Well, pack up your things in the cabin.
Oh.
Really, you said that you wanted to do that soon. Have you changed your mind?
No, it's just that every time I think about it, I can't help thinking about Max. I say goodbye to him, Ginny, but I just can't walk out, close the door. When he gave me this ring, he said it was a love knot, and that it could never be untied, that he promised to make me happy.
man kept his promise. Rena, Max would want you to be happy now, too.
I can't, not without Max. That's just the way it is with me.
Yes, you can. Not the same way, because Max will always be very special to you. But Rena, you've got too much love inside. Don't keep it locked away forever. Love doesn't mean anything unless it's shared.
Someday. Maybe someday.
What if Lacey doesn't find the pills?
Oh, she will. See, I've watched her. Every day, just before the show, she comes in here and she puts a box of throat lozenges right in that pocket.
She still might not find the pills.
What if she doesn't find the pills? And the wardrobe lady will find them when she cleans out the pockets at the end of the day. Why are you so nervous all of a sudden?
It's not all of a sudden, Bo. I've told you from the very beginning I do not like this. There's got to be a better way to get Phil Roberts off this show.
But you never came up with one. And frankly, it's a little late to change now.
I know we're going to get in trouble.
No, we're not. Everything's going to be all right. Just as soon as you get Phil Roberts off the show and get Bo Baker on the show, your troubles are going to be over.
Oh, I got to talk to you about something else. I mentioned to Ricky that you might be able to... Hi, Elena. I thought you were going to go down and watch Ricky rehearse.
Oh, well, I was going to, but he couldn't find his accompanist, and then he stopped in the office to talk to Ben about something, so I came on back. And I think I'm glad I did. Well, well. What have we here?
Thank you very much for showing up. Now let's see what we can do about getting you some champagne. It's important.
I don't care where it's from. I want an answer to my question. Are you considering a reconciliation with that dreadful woman?
No, I'm not. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't hate her anymore. And that's the best feeling in the world. You see, you can't hurt her anymore. So why don't you just give up?
Oh, pity. I never got to say hello.
It's just as well.
I take it she's not happy about the success of the boutique.
That doesn't matter, because I have a feeling that Paige and Page 1 are here to stay.
That must be some kind of medicine that Phil's taking.
Trachomycin. Now, aren't those the antibiotics that somebody was using to poison Billy Joe?
I don't know. Is it really? Oh, I wonder how Phil got a hold of that.
It's a good thing you're a manager and not a performer, Ruby, because you're a lousy actress.
What's that supposed to mean?
I heard you two talking at the party. That's why I decided to come over here. And that's also why I decided not to stay with Ricky. You see, I was standing right over there, and I saw Bo put these pills in that pocket.
It's a real nasty accusation, Elena. And it's going to be very hard to prove without any evidence.
Oh, I don't think so. The only question is, what am I going to do about it? You know, Ruby, I'm just going to have to think about that.
Would you mind stopping that for a while? It's starting to give me a headache.
Isn't that too bad?
Look, you're all worried about nothing. You know that, don't you?
What's that supposed to mean?
You're making too big a deal about this thing with Elena. So she knows we gave Billy Joe those pills. So what?
In the first place, we didn't give her those pills, Bo. You did. And in the second place, it is a big deal.
Let's not start in on that again.
Bo, Billy Joe is my brother. I hate what happened to him.
It's kind of late to be feeling that way now, isn't it? Will you stop worrying? Elena's not going to tell him anything.
She is going to tell him. She's probably telling him right now.
All right, what if she is? What are you going to do about it?
I don't know. But I'll think of something.
Hi, Billy Joe.
What do you want, Elena?
Well, that's some greeting.
You didn't answer my question.
No, I wanted to talk to you.
Look, this is about business. Ruby takes care of everything at the coop now, so you talk to her.
No, Billy Joe, this isn't about business.
And I don't think we got anything to talk about.
Yes, I think we do. Please, Billy Joe, it's important.
Oh, did you get Steve to eat anything?
No. I even made him one of my special super-duper grilled cheese sandwiches. He just sat there looking at it.
But Jenny, that boy's got to eat something. He hasn't eaten a thing since he got home.
Kate, I don't know what to do. Poor kid. I just have a feeling that all this is Barrett's fault, all this stuff that's happening. He's been through so much.
Jenny, now, I know I'm only wasting my breath, but try not to worry.
How can I not worry? It's almost as if Steve's a changed person. At the wedding, he was a happy, excited child, and now it's like he doesn't care whether he lives or dies.
Now, that's not true. The children are very strong. They can bounce back. We have to give him a lot of love and attention. I'm sure that'll bring him around.
I wish I could be that sure.
Oh, did you eat your sandwich?
I wasn't hungry.
Oh, but I thought Ginny's special cheese sandwich was your favorite. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go into Marshall Village in a little while. Would you like to come along? Maybe we could get an ice cream cone or a hot fudge sundae. Would you like that?
I don't think so. I don't really feel like it.
Honey, are you okay?
I'm just a little tired. Can I go up to my room?
Oh, sure, if that's what you want to do.
Oh, no.
You know, I really should be very angry with you.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because I wouldn't have to go through this crash course if you hadn't decided to quit World Oil. Still time to reconsider, you know.
Oh, no, you don't, but thanks anyway. It's always nice to feel wanted.
You are. I hope you know that. I hate like hell to lose you.
Look, Grant, Alex would have wanted his brother to succeed him at World Oil.
I know, but there's room for both of us, right?
I know there is, but I'm really anxious to get back into law practice. It's something I should have done a long time ago.
I hope Stryker realizes how lucky he is to have you with him.
I know that. I keep reminding him every chance I can get.
Excuse me. Good. Yes? No, that's all right. Oh, please ask her to come in. Iris is here.
Ah, well, guess I better be leaving then.
Grant, I missed you at breakfast. How are you today?
I'm fine. I left very early this morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Now, Ryan, I'm glad you're here too.
No, Iris, actually, I was just leaving.
Please, stay. I have something I want to tell you both.
What is it, Iris?
I've decided to leave Houston.
Baby, it's going to be all right. I don't really see any cuts or bruises.
Well, I don't really think it's that serious.
Kate, then why did he fall like that?
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what Doc Willard says when he gets here.
Oh, Stephen, you've been through so much. Nobody your age should have to go through so much. But it's going to be all right now. Ryan and I want to do so many things for you. We're all going to be happy together. 3 of us.
Hello? Doc Willard, please. This is an emergency.
Kate, why won't he wake up?
I don't know. Give him time, Ginny.
What if he isn't all right?
Now, don't even think that.
I'm just so worried about it.
He's going to be fine. Tom, this is Kate Marshall. Could you come right over here? There's been an accident.
Hi.
Hi.
Did I wake you?
No, I've been up for a while. Come in. I'm surprised you're at the boutique already.
I'm on my way over there right now. I have a few stops to make, though.
I wanted to tell you how grateful I am for everything you've done, Dennis.
You don't have to thank me, Paige.
Oh, yes, I do. The opening was a huge success. There's even an article about it in the paper this morning. Did you see?
Yeah, I read it. It was a good article. Good publicity.
You know, Dennis, there was a time when I was about ready to give up.
Paige, you wouldn't have done that.
How do you know?
Because you don't give up that easily. You would have found some other way of making it.
I'm not so sure.
Listen. Don't go selling yourself short that way, okay?
I mean
You're
it,
giving me
Dennis,
too
if
much
you had-
credit, Paige. I mean, Dad did a lot. Most of the people there were his friends.
Who's selling who short now, huh? You had a lot to do with the success of that opening.
I'm just glad I could help. Look, maybe you better get over to the boutique.
This is really embarrassing you, isn't it? I just wanted to say, Dennis, I feel like I owe you a lot. I just wish I could think of some way of repaying you.
You don't owe me anything, Paige.
What do you mean? Chartering those planes must have cost a small fortune, not to mention the telephone calls.
You're thanking the wrong person. Dad and Vicky took care of those phone calls. KVIK paid for them.
And the chartered planes.
I just wanted to do something to make up for all the pain my mother and I have caused you. I wanted to do something to make up for all of it.
I'm very grateful, Dennis.
Would you like some coffee?
You really don't like this, do you?
It's not that I don't like it, it isn't necessary.
Well, there was something else I wanted to say.
Yes?
I hope I haven't caused any problems between you and your mom. I know she wasn't exactly thrilled about the opening.
Don't worry about my mother.
I don't want any more problems for you, Dennis.
My mother gets over everything.
Sure?
I'm sure. You see, she has amazing recuperative powers. She never let something like this keep her down.
You're leaving Houston?
Yes.
Wasn't this kind of sudden?
Not really. I've thought it through very carefully. I know myself well enough to trust my feelings. And right now my feelings tell me Houston isn't where I should be.
Iris, why don't you sit down and tell us what brought this on?
There are many factors involved. Believe me, it wasn't an easy decision to make.
Well, I hope I'm not one of those factors.
As a matter of fact, you are.
Iris, you're not leaving because of me, are you?
Ryan, I was wrong about you. I don't like being wrong. And in your case, I can't imagine how I could possibly undo the damage I've done, especially since you seem so determined to leave World Oil.
I'm leaving World Oil because I want to go back into my law practice.
Oh, you're being too kind. The real reason you're leaving is because of the untenable position I placed you in.
Iris, you don't have to do this.
But I do.
Please, I know how difficult this has to...
Yes, it is. It is very difficult for me, Ryan, but these are things that must be said.
But everyone makes mistakes. The fact that you've admitted you're wrong, that's enough for me.
That's very sweet of you, Ryan. But I'm afraid not everyone will be as understanding.
No, who are you talking about?
Ashley, for one. But there are many others. I've made a fool of myself, and I can't stay here and be laughed at.
No one is laughing at you, Iris.
Grant's right, Iris. Just have to give it time.
I'm not going to wait for people to forget about the mistakes I've made. I couldn't bear that.
Aren't you acting rashly, Iris? I mean, why don't you give this some more thought?
I've already given it plenty of thought. It's what I want to do.
I'm in conference. She is. All right, just a moment. It's Ginny. She says it's important.
Oh, thanks. Hi, honey. Is he okay? Yeah, look, just stay calm. I'm on my way.
What is it, Ryan?
Something's happened to Steve. If you need me, I'm going to be out at the ranch.
Well, can I come in?
I don't think so.
Please, Billy Joe, it's very important. So, how you doing?
Okay, what's so important?
Please, Billy Joe, I want you to give me another chance. I want to help you. I want to be your friend.
You don't know how, Elena.
I am your friend, Billy Joe. I'm going to prove that to you.
How do you plan to do that?
Okay? You want to know who was feeding you those antibiotics?
Oh, you got the answer, right?
Well, I think I do. You see, Ruby...
Ruby? You're not going to tell me it was Ruby.
I'm just trying to tell you what happened, Billy Joe.
You just save your breath, Elena. Now, look, I'm not going to stand here and let you badmouth Ruby.
Now, just wait a minute. I don't think you know your sister as well as you think you do.
Listen, you got no right to say anything bad about Ruby. Every time I was in a jam, she was there to help me.
Maybe you just think she was trying to help you.
Oh, is that right? Now, I suppose you're going to say that you're the one who got me the job on the Phil Roberts show.
Well, no.
No, that's right. It was Ruby. And who was it that stayed with me at the hospital all day yesterday? Was that you, Elena? No, it wasn't. It was Ruby again. You got no right to stand there and say anything bad about Ruby. At least Ruby cares what happens to me. She cares for me.
I care, Billy Joe.
Not so you'd notice. Now, you tell me you want to be my friend. Well, I find that a little hard to believe, Elena. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like the only friend I got right now is my sister.
So you really think Billy Joe's going to be mad when he finds out about this, huh?
Maybe what I should do is go over there and tell him the truth myself.
Oh, real smart, Ruby. That's real smart. No, I do not think you should do that.
Why not?
Look, if you start blabbing to your brother, I just might feel the need to start getting a few things off my chest, if you follow my meaning.
You're gonna hold that wedding ring over my head forever, aren't you?
It does seem to do a pretty good job of holding you in line now, doesn't it?
I'm sick of your threats, Bo.
Oh, now isn't that too bad?
You know, I don't think Ricky would be that upset if he found out I was married anyway.
Well, then go ahead and tell him. But you'd be taking a real big chance.
Everybody can make a mistake, and Ricky understands that.
Maybe, but I guess that depends on what kind of mistakes you're talking about now, doesn't it, Pumpkin?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, it seems to me that you've made more than your share of mistakes. And I'm not just talking about the fact that you and me are husband and wife.
You wouldn't dare say anything.
Don't push me, Ruby. Or I just might find myself telling things that you don't want anyone to hear. Now, I just decided what you should do.
What?
I think you should go to your brother and you should tell him everything that happened.
But you said you didn't want me to.
Let me finish. I also want you to tell him that this whole thing was your idea.
That's a lie.
Just do it, Ruby. It seems to me you don't have a whole lot of options right now. Maybe if you play your cards right, you just might throw yourself on his mercy. That is, if he has any mercy left after everything that you've put him through.
Damn you, Bo. I
hope Jenny's little boy will be all right.
Oh, I'm sure he will be. I'll call the ranch later on and check up on him.
I remember so well what it was like when Dennis was that age. I think I overreacted to everything. All he had to do was cough, and I was absolutely convinced he had pneumonia.
Isn't that what you're doing now, Iris?
What?
Overreacting? This whole situation with Ryan?
Ryan's only part of it, and I'm not overreacting.
Well, then what's really bothering?
Everything. Justin Marshall's playing me for a fool. The trouble with Paige and Dennis. And also, soon after losing Alex, there's just no way I can deal with those memories here.
Well, there have been happy memories, too, haven't there?
The happy memories I'll take with me. The sad ones I'll leave here.
You're making a mistake, Iris.
I don't think so. Believe me, there's going to be a sigh of relief when I leave Houston.
No, it's not true. What about all the people that love you? Now, how are they going to feel if you leave Houston?
I suspect I'll be forgotten very quickly.
Are you fishing for a compliment?
No, I'm not.
Well, surely you must realize that you're not an easy woman to forget.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm not. I'm simply speaking the truth. You'll be sorely missed, Iris. Would you do me a favor? Would you give this a lot more thought?
No. I'm sorry, Grant. I've given it all the thought it needs. My mind is made up.
Well, maybe Ruby isn't the friend you think she is, but
I don't want to hear it, Elena.
Billy Joe, you have got to see the kind of person that Ruby really is.
I know the kind of person Ruby is. She's the kind of person who helps you when you're in trouble. Every time I was in a jam this past few weeks, I don't even know how I got through without Ruby.
Well, maybe that's exactly what she wanted you to think, Billy Joe.
Come off it, Elena. What are you going to tell me now? You're going to tell me that you and Nita have been my best friends? Huh? You want to know something? There was a time I cared more for Nita and you than I did anybody in the world. But you both turned your backs on me when I needed you.
That's not true.
No? Well, it sure seemed that way to me.
Billy Joe, I'm glad you're here. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No. Elena was just leaving, weren't you, Elena?
I guess so. You just remember what I told you, Billy Joe. What was she doing here?
Elena was trying to sling a little mud, but I wasn't interested.
What's that mean?
Forget it. I don't want to talk about her anymore. You want her to sing at the coop, darling, that's your business, but I'm warning you. You be real careful. She might end up getting hurt, too.
What did she say?
She said she wanted to make sure I was all right.
You didn't believe her?
Well, she had something else on her mind.
What?
She was trying to badmouth you, Ruby, but I wouldn't let her.
Maybe you should have listened to her.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Billy Joe, I have to tell you something.
Squeeze my hand, son. A little harder. That's very good. Now, let me check your eye.
It's going to be fine, Ginny.
Kate, he passed out. That's not normal. There must be something wrong.
Now, don't jump to conclusions. We have to wait until we talk to Doc Woodford.
I wish Ryan were here. He said he was coming right out.
But he'll be here. It hasn't been that long.
Well, am I going to be okay?
You're going to be just fine.
What happened to me? I don't remember falling or anything. Well, I'm not real sure yet, but it's nothing you have to worry yourself about. I want you to try and get some rest, okay?
Is he going to be all right, Doc?
Oh, he'll be fine. He's suffering from exhaustion, but that's to be expected after what he's been through.
Is that all it is?
Well, there's certainly no evidence of anything else. Didn't you tell me, Kate, the boy hasn't been eating?
He hasn't eaten anything since he's been back.
Well, that probably contributed to his passing out.
Well, will he have to be hospitalized?
I don't think that'll be necessary. He needs rest. He can get that here. Just give him a lot of rest and love. He should snap back quickly.
Thank you, Dr. Willard.
Would you like a cup of coffee, Tom?
Oh, thanks, Kate. I got a waiting room full of patients back in town.
We're so sorry to have called you out here like this, but Ginny and I didn't know what else to do.
Well, there's no need to apologize. We handled things exactly right. There is something I have to warn you about, Kate.
What?
He could very easily have a breakdown. He's been through a lot of emotional strain, and any undue pressure at this time could drive him right over the edge.
I didn't know it was that serious.
Well, I'm not saying it is, but it could be. With proper home care, I'm sure he'll be just fine.
Well, we'll do everything we can.
Yeah, that's very important, Kate. It's a critical time for that boy. Staying right here means everything.
I'll see to it.
I know you will.
Of course, I feel very sad about leaving, but I know in my heart it's the best thing for everyone concerned.
Iris, if I thought for a minute that you were serious, I'd feel sad too. But knowing how you change your mind...
I won't change my mind.
Maybe.
No maybes. My mind is made up.
For the moment.
I know we haven't seen eye to eye on a lot of things lately, Elliot, especially where Dennis is concerned, and I admit you were right about his needing professional help. But none of that would have happened in the first place if he hadn't married Paige. You do see now that Paige was wrong for Dennis.
Iris, I don't want to get into that again.
Neither do I.
Well, then can we please change the subject?
Of course. But won't you at least admit that you always took Paige's side?
Iris, please.
All right, Elliot. I won't say another word on the subject. I just dropped by to let you know my decision.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I'll be expecting a phone call from you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm, to tell me that you've changed your mind.
I won't change my mind. I'm serious about leaving.
But you haven't told me where you're going.
It's not important. What is important is that... Oh.
Iris. Elliot,
Hello, Paige.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Not at all, Paige. As a matter of fact, I have some good news for you.
Oh?
I'm leaving Houston, and I think you'll be happy to know that.
You gotta tell me what?
Elena came over here to tell you that I was the one who slipped you those antibiotics, didn't she?
Well, yeah, she tried to tell me that, all right, but I stopped her. I don't know how she could think I believe a crazy story like that.
You should have.
What?
You should have believed her. Because it's true.
What do you mean it's true?
I did it, Billy Joe. But I did it for you.
Ruby, you put that stuff in my water pitcher in the hospital?
And I put it in the coffee at the studio, too.
Oh, come on, you're joking me, aren't you?
I'm not joking. But see, I did it because Phil Roberts was threatening to take you off the show. You and Ricky.
And you solved that problem of putting me in the hospital?
I didn't give you enough to hurt you.
Ruby, you gave me enough to scare me to death.
Billy Joe, please listen to me. When I found out that Phil wanted to get rid of you, the only thing I could think to do was to try to make it look like he was the one that was poisoning you.
I never heard such a crazy thing.
I know it sounds crazy.
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anymore, Ruby. Phil Roberts told me that you're the one who got him drunk. Is that true?
It's true, Billy Joe.
Get out of here.
Oh, Billy Joe, you...
Get out.
Did that sound man come and fix the mic?
I couldn't say for sure, but I don't think so. Say, where you headed?
None of your business.
How come I'm getting the feeling that you're mad at me or something?
I don't know why you'd have an idea like that.
Look, Elena, I'd like a chance to explain about yesterday.
Save it, Bo. I'm not interested in your explanations.
Look, Elena, you gotta believe me. The whole idea of giving that thing to Billy Joe was Ruby's.
Well, that sounds just like you, you know?
What do you mean?
Letting Ruby take the blame really makes you quite the gentleman, doesn't it?
It's the truth.
Really?
Yes.
Except it doesn't wash, Bo. You see, I saw you putting those pills in Phil Roberts' pocket.
I don't care what you saw. You don't know what was really going on, Elena. The whole thing was a crazy idea from the beginning, and I told Ruby that. But you know how she is. Once she gets an idea in her head...
I know exactly how Ruby is, and I also know just how close you two are. Seems to me that somebody else might be interested in knowing how close you and Ruby are.
Who's that?
Ricky? And maybe I should go and tell him about all this.
Hey, Ruby's my manager, that's all.
Save the explanations, Bo. I don't buy it.
Do you think Iris is really serious about leaving Houston?
Oh, with Iris, who knows?
Strange, Elliot. I feel almost sorry for her. Even after everything she's done to me.
Well, she always gets these feelings of remorse, but they pass.
So ironic that she should be thinking about leaving Houston after all the time she's told me that she was going to run me out of town.
You know, I think what's upset her most is the fact that you've succeeded in spite of her.
Well, yesterday I told her that I owed the success of page 1 to her.
I bet she loved that.
Nope, she didn't want to hear it at all, actually. But in a way, it's true.
No, not at all. You owe the success of the boutique to your own personal initiative.
And the initiative of several close friends.
No, you did it. Don't diminish your accomplishment.
That's funny. That's just what Dennis told me this morning.
You saw him?
Yes. I dropped by to tell him how grateful I was. He's going to be all right, isn't he, Elliot?
I think so.
Funny, after everything that's happened, I still felt so close to him today.
Well, now that Dennis is recovering, there's no reason why the two of you can't become friends again.
Right now, he feels very uncomfortable around me.
Well, give him some time.
You know, Iris was right about one thing, though. Dennis and I were really never meant to be together. He even admitted that today. I'm just sorry we put each other through so much pain before we realized it.
Oh, honey, I feel terrible about this thing.
Why? This whole thing was caused by what Barrett puts to you through.
I don't know.
I just feel so guilty. Maybe if
You're gonna have to stop blaming yourself about what's happened in the past. We gotta concentrate on the future.
Do you think we can?
Of course we can. We gotta start thinking about our lives, right?
Do you really think that Steve's going to be all right?
I'm positive. Now, look, honey, Steve's been through a tremendous strain the last couple of weeks, and when we brought him home, he tried to pretend that everything was all right, but it isn't. And it's gonna take time, but he'll come around. You'll see.
Why didn't he tell us what he really felt?
Maybe he's a little embarrassed by all the attention. But just give him time to rest and adjust to everything that's happened, okay? And then when he gets stronger, we're going to take him to our home.
Grandma?
Yes, honey, I'm here. How are you feeling?
Tired.
Are you hungry?
No, I just want to sleep.
I know.
Grandma, what's happening to me?
Well, you've got to understand that you've been through a lot lately. Everything that happened with your daddy.
He didn't hurt me.
I know. Your daddy loves you a lot. He would never hurt you. At least he'd never mean to. But he needed help with some problems that he had, and he's getting that help now.
I love him, Grandma.
Of course you do. You always will. But, honey, you feel the way you do because you're hurt. Not on the outside, like a bruise or a cut, but deep inside, because you just can't understand why your daddy acted the way he did. And that hurts. And those kind of hurts are harder to heal than a bruise or a cut. Mainly because nobody knows, nobody can see them, and nobody really knows how much you hurt inside. Does that make any sense to you?
I think so.
Good. Now, you've got to get your strength back so that you and your mother and Ryan can get on with your new life together.
Okay, Grandma.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
They both love you very much. You know that, don't you?
Yes, it's just...
Just what? You can tell your grandma about it?
Just don't see why we have to leave. Why can't we stay here?
Well, honey, sometimes things don't work out the way they wish they would.
Do you want me here, Grandma?
Of course I want you here. You're my great-grandson, aren't you? Now then, why don't you just try to get some sleep? And maybe you can eat something later.
Okay.
I'll be back in just a little while.
Grandma?
Yes, honey?
I don't want to leave here. Please let me stay.
Now, you just rest. We'll talk about it later, okay?
If we can't be friends, maybe we can at least work together. I mean, you're a singer, and I'm a songwriter. Now, that usually makes a pretty good team now, doesn't it? Elena, wouldn't you like to have another hit song? Don't you like feeling like a star? Hey, Ruby, how'd it go?
He's mad. What did you expect? I'm surprised you didn't tell him before I got there.
Oh, I tried, but he wouldn't listen. You didn't tell him, did you?
Why shouldn't I? I did it for him.
I think Billy Joe's a little too smart to buy that, Ruby.
Why else would I do it?
Well, I haven't quite figured that out yet. But I will.
You know what your problem is, Elena? You're too suspicious. But I guess that's what happens when you hang around a criminal like Joe Foster.
I won't even answer that.
Watch out for that one, Pumpkin. She's out to get you. And you know something? just might do it.
What brings you over here?
Well, I came here to see if I could take Lacey out to lunch, and since I was in the building, I figured I'd drop by and say hello to you.
Well, I'm glad you did. Sit down.
Thank you.
I wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed visiting with you yesterday at the opening of Page's Boutique.
Well, thank you. I just hope I didn't throw that place into an uproar by inviting Iris to the opening.
No damage done. In fact, I'm glad you did.
I just figured that it was time that Iris put away her hostilities towards Page, but I'm not sure that did any how good.
Well, it was a good idea, but I think you're expecting a lot of Iris. It's not easy for her to admit she's wrong about anything, especially something or someone about whom she feels passionate.
Like Page.
Exactly. Page has been one of Iris's crusades.
Well, I know that Iris is very stubborn.
That's putting it mildly.
But I have a feeling that she's beginning to see the light, although I don't think that she's handling it very well.
Why, what do you mean?
Well, she came by to see me this morning. She told me that she felt she had to leave Houston, that it was the only thing that she could do under the circumstances.
Oh, my. She has been busy this morning. She came here with the same story.
You think she's serious?
Well, with Iris, there's no telling, but I doubt it.
I hope you're right. I know she can be difficult, but I hate to see her leave.
Well, I think it's premature to plan a farewell party for her.
I think the thing that bothers me the most is the fact that she's been defeated by so many areas recently. I hate to see a proud woman like Iris beaten down by those defeats.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about that. In fact, I can guarantee you that is one thing that will never happen to Iris.
Naturally, I hate to leave you, but I hope you understand why I have to go.
Well, no, I'm not sure I do.
Houston isn't really the place for me anymore. There are too many painful memories here.
Well, where else is the place for you?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. Maybe New York or Rome. In fact, I just received a letter from Ashley's Aunt Hildegard. She's taken a house on the Riviera. You know how I've always loved Saint-Tropez, so maybe I'll visit Hildy for a couple of months while I try to make up my mind.
Sounds like fun.
There's nothing fun about it. I'm trying to put my life back together, to forget some of the pain I've caused and some of the pain I've had to endure.
Well, you know you don't have to leave.
I do. I've thought it through. I really should have left when Alex died, but I stayed for you, and I hope it hasn't been a complete waste.
Well, now, what is that supposed to mean?
I think, at least I hope, that I have finally made you see Paige for the kind of person
I think
she
that's
really
far
is.
enough.
But you do see that now, don't you?
My relationship with Paige is strictly my business. I don't think it concerns you.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sure talking about Paige is very painful for you, and I believe me, I didn't mean to upset you.
No, I'm not upset.
I'm glad. I've never meant to upset you. It's the last thing in the world I'd want to do.
The only way you could upset me is if I let you. And I'm just not going to give you that power anymore, Mom.
How's Steve?
We talked for a while, now he's gone back to sleep.
Then he's all right?
Well, he feels pretty weak. He just can't understand what's happening to him.
Of course he can't understand. He's always been so active.
Well, when he gets stronger, then we'll take him to our new home and life will be normal again, right?
I'm afraid it's not going to be that simple, Ryan.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, you can't take that boy off this ranch.
Okay, you know what our plans are.
I don't much care what your plans are, but I'm telling you, you can't go carting that boy off right now.
Well, I can't leave him here.
I'm not suggesting that you leave him here.
What are you suggesting?
Well, I haven't had a chance to think it through yet. But I do know that you can't take that boy off this ranch. This is home to him.
But Steve has a home with us.
Well, under normal circumstances, that would be fine. But we all know that Steve has not had an ordinary life these last few weeks, let alone the weeks before.
Well, Ginny and I will help him adjust.
But now, it's hard enough for a boy with no other problems to adjust to moving to a new home. But a child who's been through all that Steve has.
I've thought about that.
Honey, do you think Kate's right?
Well, she has a good point.
Well, I don't agree. I mean, there's no way we're going to leave Steve here.
I am not suggesting that you leave Steve here.
Kate, you must know there's no way we're all going to live under the same roof as Justin.
Well, I don't know what the answer is, Ryan. But I do know if you take that boy off this ranch, you might just kill him.